to another delightful edition of the Rusty Chains Spoilercast. As always, I'm your host, John. This time we got Chunk with us. Hi, Chunk.
Hi, friends.
We got Eli with us. Hi, Eli.
What's up?
And we got Smam. Hi, Sam.
Hey, how's it going?
And today, obviously, our topic is Solo, a Star Wars story.
Ooh, fancy.
Yep, that came out on Friday.
I don't know why I'm acting surprised, considering I wrote the announcements.
You dumb fuck. But,
Breaking the illusion, John.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
about to say, Chuck,
You've ruined everything.
you kind of went and saw it with me because we
Yeah,
were planning on
exactly.
doing the spoiler cast, so...
Well, I've seen it twice, so I have a lot to talk about when it comes to this movie.
In theory,
even
Chuck's
with
gonna
this
be...
even with this one viewing, I have some thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. There was a lot to unpack in this one. And I guess let's start with the beginning.
Yeah.
Makes enough
Alright.
sense.
Corellia was not how I imagined it.
No.
Yeah.
Not at
No.
all.
And it took me like 5 minutes to realize that Han's chick was Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
So,
well, because she looked vaguely different in certain shots
She
just
looks
because of
similar,
her makeup
but I
and her
couldn't really
lighting.
place her until
Yeah.
like I saw her like face up close.
Wait,
So, I have a-
wait. That was her?
Yeah?
That
Yeah,
was
no,
Daenerys.
that
I-
was, yeah.
Okay, she seemed familiar, but I could not place her. Thank you.
So also, hang on, does anybody know if she actually is that tall? Because when we went to see it,
I
or
mean,
at least when I went to see it the first time, I looked at the little standee in the lobby, and she was like only up to my shoulder. So I'm really curious now.
I think the cardboard one's not probably accurate.
Well, because Han and Woody Harrelson were
just size,
pretty
Like,
correctly
life
sized.
size, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So she might be. I don't know.
Well, I don't remember her name, so I'm just gonna call her Daenerys throughout.
Kira,
Kira.
was her name.
Yep.
Kira?
Yep.
Alright, I'm cool with that.
Spelled Qi apostrophe RA, by
Is it
the way.
actually?
Yes,
That's
it is.
dumb.
Yes, it
No,
is.
Kira,
Star Wars style.
K-I-R-A?
It's
No,
Star Wars
because then
style.
she'd be
No,
using
no,
a
no.
Death Note.
Ki
I don't
apostrophe RA.
I don't know Death Note, I'm sorry, but like...
But
That was the name Light used when he was using the Death Note. But
Okay, fine. I'll just call her whatever.
but
yeah, so
this out on Corellia, and we've heard a lot about Corellia throughout all kinds of Star Wars mythos, and this time
it's pretty much
we
showed
finally
up.
got
I
to see
think.
it.
It's been mentioned in a lot of different Star Wars media and a fair amount of the movies, surprisingly.
Yeah, with all the Corellian Corvettes, but then
Yeah.
also the extended universe or the expanded universe, however you want to call it. In the
Yeah,
book
like the
series.
original, like I think what they call it now, Legacy
popped
Universe.
Up quite a bit
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I don't recall any mention of it being pretty much run-down dockyard poor people of Star Wars.
Yeah.
No, there were certainly portions where it was
Just
it's mentioned that it has its down parts, but it's mainly middle to upper class, supposedly, at least in the expanded universe.
All right.
Mhm.
just for those, like, just like, honestly, like, I know like the movies really well, but don't know anything about like the expanded universe. So, just cut me some slack on that area.
Denied.
No, I'll give you all the slack you need, don't worry. I'm just sitting here looking at my bookshelf with about 30 different chapter books from the expanded universe, so you know.
I've got the
You.
the
And
anthology.
then about 12 on my phone, so you know, kind of obsessed.
I got the
Yeah.
anthology of bounty
Oh,
hunter stories
I
right
can
here.
talk forever about the movies. I just don't know anything about the comics
But yeah,
or video games or anything
so-
like that, except for like Knights of the Old Republic.
So basically, the movie opens on a car chase in Star Wars, which was interesting.
Pretty much speeders, but
Yeah.
they didn't do. They really only did one unique stunt with the speeder, so for all intents and purposes, it was a car chase, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it really opens with Han stealing the speeder,
True. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
going and getting Kira, and meeting his like slave overlord boss creature
Yep.
thing.
What
Lady
was her
Prox-
name?
Lady Proxima.
Yeah.
Yeah, Proxima.
Giant slug beast.
Yeah, that albino apparently because it burns under sunlight and
Yep.
lives in a giant pit of water.
And we discovered that she's albino because Han did a little trick that we've actually seen from Leia in Return of the Jedi, kind of.
Though
He hol-
Leia's was an actual thermal detonator.
Yeah, Han pulls out a thermal detonator in Solo and threatens to pretty much suicide bomb the place, as Leia did. But they just go, "That's a rock, and you just made a little clicking noise with your tongue to arm it." And he goes, "No, I didn't." Yeah, yes, it's a thermal detonator. So then he throws it through a light, which obviously...
Conveniently shines down on Proxima's face, and she starts blistering and screaming.
Yep,
You know,
as one
you
does.
do.
Yep,
So
that's what I do when I go outside.
So then,
can I just like ask a question?
Yes.
Is thermal detonator just Star Wars code word for grenade?
it's
Kinda,
a specific
sorta.
type of grenade. Yes.
Code word for grenade. Code word for grenade that it's more or less a mini nuke. It's extremely powerful to the point where it is a militarily regulated device in the expanded universe.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did not know
Like-
anything about that, so thank you, Eli.
Like, it's a grenade that's big enough that most stormtroopers don't carry them.
Yeah,
Unless they're
Star Wars Battlefront, I think, is the only game where thermal detonators are.
I knew that they were an explosive, of course, but I just didn't know like that they were that powerful. All right,
Extremely high yield is how
That
it's described.
that is fair.
Yeah.
That is very fair.
That's also true. Lexi, they're laser grenades, pretty much. But so they fuck off.
Then we have the car chase where they're escaping from the slaver dude, or not the slavers, but Lady Proxima's dudes.
Her
And there's a
henchmen.
car chase involving Han, Kira in a speeder, and then these dudes in like this, basically a fucking hover tank, and then a random stormtrooper on a speeder bike who just dies immediately.
He tried his hardest,
That
damn
was
it.
funny.
He tried his best.
Oh, Chucky.
Mm.
What's the last thing to go through a stormtrooper's head when he crashes into his train?
God damn it! Not this joke.
What is it?
Fuck.
His afterburners.
Oof.
But yeah, so they basically there's this car chase and they
That-
get to the spaceport.
That's true, Lexi.
Hmm?
Says Han Solo causes someone to suffer extreme albino burns. Nobody cares, but Peter Rabbit triggers someone's blueberry allergy, and parents want to boycott.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, no, because allergies are serious business.
Can't acknowledge that people might be allergic to some things. Fuck that.
Maybe people are allergic to sunlight.
I know I am.
That's why I don't leave my house.
I'm already retreading on material for this section. Let's move on.
Anyway.
So at the spaceport.
So yeah, at the spaceport, they're basically like trying to hide in like groups like Assassin's Creed, and
They drew in a line to get out because their whole point of this was they stole something from their slaver people.
it was basically hyperfuel. They
Coaxium,
stole
yeah.
hyperfuel from Proxima in order to escape by a ship and leave the planet and escape both the Empire and Proxima's people.
Yep.
So they're at the spaceport, they're hiding, and then Proxima's dudes show up, and then they enlist the help of the stormtroopers, which that's one thing that was strange to me. It's like these random criminal dudes wander into a spaceport and then explain the situation to a bunch of stormtroopers, and the stormtroopers are immediately on board, like, yeah, no, we gotta go find this guy.
Well, no, because at first they're like, you gotta leave. But then it became more, oh, they robbed you? And I doubt they would have said they robbed our
illegal
illegal
obtained,
contraband. Just, hey, there's some people here that stole something of ours. Help us find them. And I expect
true.
stormtroopers being the equivalent of police would be, I guess, contractually obligated to be on board for that adventure.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
So they try and find them, but Han and Kira get up to the security booth, and they try to bribe the Imperial officer with the coaxium so they can get off the planet.
They successfully bribe.
Well, they do, but then Kira gets grabbed by Proxima's dudes and pulled past, like, back through the gate so that she and Han are separated by the security barrier. And they have this moment, and then Han runs off because the stormtroopers are starting to
They've got his number.
Yeah. So he hides for a bit and then is like, hey, I know how I can get away without being suspected. And then he just goes up to an Imperial
military
Army.
recruitment office.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to unpack there.
He joins the Empire, basically.
He does.
Well, that was part of his canon originally. He was a pilot for the Imperial
he was an
Navy.
Imperial ace in the Navy and was a TIE fighter pilot, and then defected, but that was because he saw Chewbacca being abused in the expanded universe.
But that's not how it happens in this movie. Well,
But
Not entirely, no.
kinda, yeah.
But let's back up to the recruitment center for a bit.
Yeah.
First thing, when the movie was originally announced, they said they weren't going to do that plot line, which upset a lot of people, including me. So I'm glad they backpedaled on it.
They gave a little nod to it.
Yeah.
Well, that was I think that was part of the reshoot, and the way they got around that was that basically Han doesn't have a last name, and he admits that he doesn't to the Imperial officer at the recruitment office. So he's
because
like,
he's a street urchin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that perfectly made sense, and I had no problem with the way they did it. Basically the officer goes like, Han, thinks about it, Solo, and then types that out because Han's alone. He doesn't have anyone with him.
He even says like, "What's your family people's name?" And Han goes, "I don't have people." So he goes, "All right, you're Solo."
Yeah.
And I think that works.
That works. It's a clever way of doing it because it's clear that it's not just the general term for people who don't have a family in the Star Wars universe. It's clear that that's not what it was. It was the officer just being like, "Oh, you're alone. Okay." Which it means that there's not like 800 Solos out in the galaxy somewhere who just are other street urchins or stuff that signed up for the military.
I do like that too, because obviously the Han we know.
I can appreciate it. I can honestly appreciate it.
Yeah.
They initially announced when the movie came out that Han Solo was like both parts of the name were going to be a title passed down. I hated that.
That was the reshoot. That was part of the reshoot.
I think that was Ron Howard at work. But something I very much appreciate is we obviously see Han stealing from the Empire and fucking with them all the time.
Yeah.
Both in this movie and in the original trilogy.
But now it makes sense because he was part of them. So
but not even that.
Break into shit, hack stuff.
They gave him that name. Han Solo stole his own identity from the Empire really funny, actually, when he deserted.
Also, I'm just gonna point out that we now know that the Imperial March is actually the
Imperial theme
Empire's
canon.
Official theme in universe.
Yep, they use it as
a very slightly uptoned version of it.
Yeah, you mentioned that last night. Does that mean like John Williams like exists?
John Williams is just a stormtrooper who's really good at music, and he just wrote like this big like orchestral fanfare for the Emperor, and the Emperor's like, let's make that our theme song.
I did some
like I can imagine Palpatine just listening to some music, and it's like, get that guy to write me a theme.
So I did some
that reminds me of something I want to get back to in a minute, but let's keep going.
Yeah. I did some digging on that being in universe, and I was like, oh, is that actually there? Is that a funny little nod? Apparently, like, I heard it, but canonically, it's been there since Revenge of the Sith, and is canonically titled Glory to the Empire.
Yeah.
It's the galactic national anthem now.
Yep. Which is funny.
It's like this really villainous thing.
Well, they did sort of make change it tone-wise.
They made it more upbeat, yeah.
Yeah,
just
which
a little bit.
I can appreciate, but like I still love it because it still has that ominous feeling because it's the same song and accompanied on the sign with visuals of just Star Destroyers and TIE fighters and shit flying around. It's like, this is still really, like, sinister.
Yeah.
I mean,
But, like...
I agree, Lexi. Lexi says it's kind of interesting that Solo's an assigned name as opposed to a literal name. I don't mind it being... Again, when they announced the movie and they're like, oh, it's going to be a title passed down from his mentor, I hated that. Because that pretty much just...
that really bothered me.
It
Like,
probably was going to be Woody Harrelson's character's name.
Yeah.
And then it would be given to Han later in the movie, but we'll get to that.
That's exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
And I would have hated that. You know, that would have just pretty much just retroactively ruined the identity, at least to me, of one of the most iconic characters in movie history.
Yeah.
And
I'm just gonna say,
Yes.
you all talk about all this drama that went down with it. I honestly hadn't heard any of it, so I was expecting only good things out of
So
this
you
movie.
were going into it being
I was
like,
going
oh, it's a
in,
Star
alright,
Wars
yeah.
movie.
The
Alright,
only thing
so-
I had seen was a T-shirt from the first team that worked on it, where the back said "We shot first." That's all I had seen.
That's really funny. Actually.
so the main things this movie had to overcome,
yeah.
and I think all things considered, it's a goddamn glorious movie. They lost.
considering like the horrible press and just like
They lost
They
two
just, like,
directors,
losing
and
two directors and just everything like that went wrong for them. They did
Yeah.
a pretty good job making up for lost time.
reportedly Ron Howard,
Mhm.
who came in as the new director, he reshot between 70 and 80% of principal photography. So it makes you wonder how unwatchably terrible the first one would have been.
I'm really hoping they put some of the deleted scenes on the DVD. I'm really curious now to see what was cut
Yeah,
out of this
I
movie.
really want to see just how unwatchably terrible this thing must have been.
I'm legitimately imagining a scene where Han just like walks in to shoot a guy and then just trips face first and then just gets shot. And it's like, okay, well we can't use that take.
Reportedly, about halfway through, the cast was finding so many plot holes in the script that the two directors just said, all right, improv this scene and we'll make it work later.
What the fuck?
So Ron Howard showed up and he's like, what? No. New script. Reshoot my movie. Fix this garbage.
What the
Yeah, these
actual
people
hell?
should be fired from everything forever.
Yep.
Like I'm
This is,
imagining
like,
I'm imagining
really
just
terrible. Like
a bunch of
movie.
Disney executives and Kathleen Kennedy arriving on set, just like, what is this garbage? Like,
To quote Reddit, oh my god, Ron Howard's a literal sorcerer to make a watchable film out of this.
yeah, no, seriously.
I mean, it wasn't the best Star Wars film ever made, but it was like it was still watchable. It was
Yeah.
it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
The Star Wars holiday special? We'll get to that, Lexi. Don't you worry.
That can be one of our Christmas.
At some point, I'd also like to do the Ewok Adventure stuff that I
Oh,
have, but
dude,
you know.
yes.
Ooh.
Well, we'll just do a Star Wars bootleg like month or something at some point. It'll be great.
But
Moving on. He just signed up with the military.
So
Yep.
basically, we cut to him being like, we cut from him being like, I'm gonna sign up for the Imperial Navy, and then the dude goes, we'll make a pilot out of you. Smash cut to 3 years later, and he's a ground trooper.
buried in mud in the trenches.
So that was a really cool shot. I can appreciate like
this was a really interesting scene to me. Can I just
I
like
can-
explore on this for a little bit?
Yeah, please.
yeah.
So, I mean, the Rogue One kind of explored a little bit of this as well, but this is
I
like
can appreciate the
this
hardcore
is like-
military stuff in
is
Star
not,
Wars.
like- this is not the adventurous, glorious like rebel like adventurers that we know from like the
no,
original
it's
Star
like
Wars.
it's like
This
dirt
is, like,
covered ATSTs
you're
running around, people
covered
getting
in
blown
blood,
the
you're
fuck
fake-
up.
You're like this is like a war. This is really intense and
It seemed
like
very
this
World
is
War
not, like,
One.
really adventurous, happy like rebel Star Wars that we know.
Yeah, it was a really fun scene. It felt like, well, what a lot of the weapons from Star Wars are designed after World War II, but
yeah,
in
I was
Star
about
Wars.
to say it was a very Star Wars styled World War II almost like a Normandy beach Saving
Yeah,
Private Ryan.
it was.
Yeah.
I want to see more like Star Wars stuff that focuses on like the military aspects of Star Wars. Because with how much you go into politics and shit in episodes 1, 2, and 3, and how the fact that the entire movie revolves around the Clone Wars, I sort of get why episodes 4, 5, and 6 don't have that sort of tone, just because they're the originals and they wanted to tell a story as opposed to, you know. But 1, 2, and 3 easily could have gone into more of like the really gritty military stuff of Star Wars, but they didn't. There was just a bunch of people sitting around in a room arguing whether or not to negotiate a trade blockade. It's like, all right, can we just show a bunch of people shooting some guys, please?
The anthology films, I've really loved both anthology films so far.
Oh god, yeah.
Because
they
do
the military stuff really well. We got
they
like,
both
ATs, ATSTs, and shit running around.
hell. There's a scene where Han, and this is in his World War II phase here, is where he's almost killed because they have to airdrop in ATSTs for support.
Which was cool. It was a really cool scene. Just ship flies overhead, ATST drops, and then just immediately starts walking. It's really cool.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate getting to see more of the kind of nitty-gritty Star Wars over the past couple of years and like pulling punches.
I'd really like to see a Star Wars anthology film that takes place during the Clone Wars.
Almost
that
makes
would
me
be
wonder
really
how
cool.
they got beat up by Ewoks.
Also, we'll get back to the Clone Wars.
Actually, yeah.
We'll get back to the Clone Wars connection in a second.
Yeah, that will happen.
But
don't
that
you
is
worry.
definitely going to happen. Don't worry about that.
Last thing I want to touch on, like we talked about, there was a time jump. So we're now 3 years later.
Which I believe you said it was,
10
years?
It is confirmed that this is 10 years before New Hope. So from this point out, the rest of the movie is exactly a decade before Han walks into the cantina and meets Luke.
Yes, okay. So
that's where we are.
We'll discuss that time gap
at the end, I think.
When we get to that, because there's stuff that ties into stuff that episode 4
we should probably get going and hurry up.
So basically, they after the battle, Han meets up with Woody Harrelson and his guys, who Han at this point thinks are Imperial officers.
Not even that. First, they meet up with the actual commanding officers, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna take the town." And Han's like, "What's our objective?" And
so we see Han being a little
sassy trooper.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is
the glory of the Empire and to kill your enemies.
Yeah, I really appreciated that the commanding officers don't have an objective, just propaganda.
Well, that's the thing. I like that they didn't make... While they did make the Empire still be sort of the de facto bad guys of the series, which they are. They are the bad guys of the series, at least the Episode 4 prequels and... the
everywhere from the end of
arc.
Everywhere from end of 3 to end of 6, pretty much.
Yeah, but so it was nice seeing the fact that not seeing any Imperial leadership like Vader, Palpatine. We don't see them. We just see a bunch of dudes all right, so our plan is to go...
That would answer to guys who would answer to them.
Yeah. It's the people who are just the soldiers, which is nice to see, because it's the Empire from that. With only them being there, the Empire feels less evil and more just this is our side of this war, and
these are dudes. These are just dudes who have a job to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, was there any named Empire character in this movie?
I mean,
not that I can remember, actually.
No. There wasn't.
I mean, there's that one guy at the
Commander.
end.
But he's not with the Empire anymore.
He's not anymore now.
We'll get to that.
He never technically was with the Empire, honestly.
But okay,
We will get to that.
Yes. So Han meets up with Woody Harrelson, and basically through a series of events, Han finds out that they're actually a criminal crew
Series of events, he seems an arm reach down and pull up pants.
Well,
when there
that.
shouldn't have been an arm.
And also, Woody Harrelson's chest is shot full of lasers, but he's fine.
Yeah. I'm trying not to get too detailed because we are still very early in the movie, and I want to kind of speed things up a little bit because we have a lot to talk about more middle end sort of stuff. But basically, he tries to blackmail Woody Harrelson and like, I'm gonna turn you into the lieutenant guy. And then Woody Harrelson calls the lieutenant guy over and says that Han's a deserter. And because he's wearing the dead captain's uniform, the lieutenant's like, oh shit, this guy's trustworthy. All right, throw him to the beast. And he gets thrown into the pit with the beast. Which that scene was really well done. The scene with the beast was really well done.
Before they revealed what the beast is,
Oh please, we all knew what the beast was.
I actually didn't. It sounded
No,
it sounded and was
Yeah, but you're
framed. Oh. But no, it sounded
I was
like
expecting it to be who it was, or a rank, or like a mini rank.
yeah, I was very much thinking it was going to be a Rancor because the set is very, very similar. You know, chain,
metal grating, pit, mud, giant pole in the middle.
A bunch of dudes up top laughing about it.
chains. It very much seemed like we were going to have
like a Rancor fight.
have Han go toe to toe with a Rancor, and I was all for
Dude,
that.
I wanted to see that, but no.
But then the actual beast
Watch him
arrives.
pull the ears off a Gundark.
It's
It was a Wookiee.
Yeah.
it's everyone's good friend Chewbacca. So he comes out and they have this little fight, and then Han reveals that he can speak Wookiee, and Chewie
Very
is,
basic Wookiee.
yeah. So Han and Chewie devise a plan to escape, which basically involves them breaking a pole in the center of the pit to allow the grates to fall in, which
Allows
they get
their
out.
escape. Yep.
Yeah, they get out, and then Han convinces Chewie to go with him to meet Woody Harrelson at a landing pad where he has a ship.
They're stealing
he
an
stole
Imperial
from the-
cargo
yeah.
lifter.
They stole one of the cargo ships, and so Woody Harrelson's like, all right, cool, we'll take him. So Han and Chewie get on
Simply
board.
because they wanted the strength of the Wookiee. They didn't really
They
care
didn't
for
need
Han.
Han, yeah.
He said, oh, I'm a great pilot. And they're like, well, we've already got one. Sucks
Yeah.
to be you.
So they take them and they go to this. I don't even think they said the name of the planet, but
I think they did. Hang on.
but they go to this place. Where
Discount
there's this-
Snow Planet.
Yeah, it's not Hoth. Basically,
Hang on.
that planet actually did look really nice, like on the mountains.
It was a much rockier version.
Was it
of,
Renvar actually? Probably not, but
No, it
right.
wasn't Minvar.
Okay, so Han's World War I Chewbacca planet, that was Mimban. And
Holy shit, that was Mimban?
that was Mimban.
huh?
I remember Mimban from the EU. It's a fantastic. It's used to be a pleasure planet.
Well, not anymore.
And the Snow Rock planet, where pretty much the rest of the first act, I think, takes place,
yeah.
is...
Well, 'cause it's the entire train job, and then they meet up with you know who, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
this planet is called Vandor.
okay. So they go
That
to
one is new.
Vandor. They go to Vandor, and
Which is
they
just tall
basically-
mountain Hoth, pretty much.
Yeah, they're basically there to heist this train that has a bunch of
Coaxium.
Refined coaxium.
Yeah, which is the same stuff Han
stuff that
had
powers
earlier. Yeah.
So they
It powers hyperdrives, but yes.
Yeah.
So basically, before the job they're discussing, what was dude's name? The Marauder guy.
The leader one.
Yes.
Emphas Nest.
Yes. Okay. So Emphas. They discuss Emphas and that he's a rival
rival
criminal
crime.
Who wants,
yes.
Yeah, who probably also wants to steal from the train as well. So they.
Meanwhile, Harrelson's character was just like, no, my source told me we're the only ones with this information. Don't worry about it.
Which comes into play later. But yeah, so they go ahead and they start on the train and get attacked by a bunch of like
three stormtroopers with magnetic boots.
So they're coming down the train, and basically the way this is working is they're gonna detach the car below the bridge, and as all the cars go off the rails, they're going to take the one car they detached and
with
fly
their stolen cargo loader from the other planet.
So
From
they
Yep.
Yeah. So they start doing that. Han and Chewie detach the car that has the coaxium from the rear cars, so all the stormtroopers.
The rest of the time, Beckett, which is Woody Harrelson's character, is just dual wielding and gunslinging.
Dude, Woody Harrelson was doing some sick spins with those blasters during this movie. It's so good.
That whole sequence was giving me a lot of great Train Robbery vibes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was like a really great, like, kind of heist-ish movie.
Yeah. It's really cool, actually. But so they continue working on the train, and meanwhile, Woody Harrelson's girlfriend character
Val.
is busy planning to prepping the explosives on the bridge.
Space C4.
Yes. So then Memphis shows up and starts fucking with their shit, and
good to know that harpoons are still a thing in this universe.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I have a question. Those speeder bikes would not be able to lift that train car.
Swoop bikes, they get souped up.
Even still.
We'll get to that. But so they show up.
Yeah.
Memphis
starts cutting the
their cables.
The cables that are holding the car to the ship.
To Han and Co.'s transport.
Yes.
And then
one of Emphasis' guys goes into the ship and starts fucking with the pilot.
Who's an adorable little four-armed character.
Oh, he's so cool. I like him. But
he was quite amusing. But in order for Han to become the pilot that he must be, this man must die.
Dude gets shot in the shoulder and then dies. I'm legitimately he got shot in the shoulder and then in the back as well? Because one blaster bolt to the shoulder shouldn't have killed him, right? There had to be something else that hurt him more, right?
I think it
Theoretically,
was...
yes.
I think just because his whole deal was arms, and he suddenly lost one of those arms, you know? Like...
Okay.
I get the vibe, at least, that arms were very important to his species.
Probably.
Also, it looked to me like it didn't hit the shoulder, but kind of took a chunk out of the shoulder.
True.
Also, another thing for his species was teeth. Remember, he asked Han if his woman had sharp teeth?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, but he gets shot. Han leaves Chewie to decouple the train car that they're on from the front of the thing, while he goes up to kill the guy that was that shot the pilot. And so he gets up there and the dude's already dead. So I'm really depressed
Not
that
already
I'm
dead.
forgetting.
They were talking.
No, not him. The Emphasis dude.
Oh yeah, the Emphasis dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was dead.
So I guess like during that fight, that guy died. But then our pilot friend, who I'm sad I'm blanking on his name, but
I'm on it.
Him and Han have a little talk, and then he dies, and Han starts flying the ship.
He makes Han sadder because he does not currently have his woman friend.
Mm-hmm.
Was...
Hmm? Yes?
Ah, there's a lot of really weird names here.
That's fair. So they eventually get they pass this certain point where a sensor goes off, and a bunch of security droids come out.
Oh,
They smash into a sensor and release 4 of the Viper probe droids from Episode 5, the one that crashed into Hoth. They released 4 of those, except these are armed with heavy laser cannons instead of a self-destruct mechanism.
okay.
So
I've got some info and stuff real quick.
Okay.
We fucked it up. Val actually is his wife.
See, I thought so. I don't know why you were so determined to say girlfriend.
Four-armed boy is named Rio Durant.
Okay.
And can you guess who he's played by? Because I was not ready for this. It's Jon fucking Favreau.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can see that, but was not ready for that.
Huh.
So, Val gets pinned down by the Viper droids and has to self-destruct the bridge while she's on it, and we have a nice Star Wars scene from Woody Harrelson.
At least they got it over early.
It's not like the Darth Vader scene from episode 3 where it goes on for so long. It's just okay. But yeah, so she blows the bridge and they get the train car, but Emphasis guys are still holding on to it and are like trying to pull it away. And they're about to crash into this mountain, so Han decides to detach the cables so that they don't crash into the mountain and die. So he does, and then he drops the train car, and then Emphas drops the train car, and then it explodes, and that was a really
Holy
nice...
shit, that explosion.
It was
that
a beautiful
nice
effect
looking
shot. That was
explosion.
Yeah, it was a good
It it decimated the whole mountain, and
then it like
Well,
imploded,
more
sort
of
of
a
like
top third, but it kind of like absorbed all of the stuff in that top
which
third.
was cool.
So,
It was really cool.
it reminded me a lot of Episode 2's
It's the Jango Fett
subsonic.
grenades,
Yeah, that.
So
Yeah.
this is gonna be like another weird like reference, but do you guys remember the new like 2009-ish Star Trek movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the
The red matter.
it's like the stuff that can cause black holes and like just does like
The like the
weird
scene
stuff
when
all around.
if you've seen, I think it was the first movie. It's similar visually to the scene when they destroy Vulcan. In that movie. Also, spoilers for Star Trek 2009.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Okay.
if that really matters anymore.
It's almost a decade old.
No,
I think
I
we've
know,
got
I
our
know.
pass.
But yeah, so it's visually similar to Vulcan's destruction in that movie. Also, that's canon now in certain Star Trek universes, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
So there's another one coming out. It's being done by Tarantino, I think.
Oh
fun
yeah, I
guess.
forgot about that. But anyways, let's talk about that later.
Okay, so
Let's talk about Star Wars.
Star Wars. So they crash on just like a ice field or whatever, and
Woody Harrelson builds adorable little graves for Val and Rio.
my favorite thing is I'm looking at it and I'm thinking like, okay, Rio, yeah, he has his goggles because they were on the ship. He didn't have anything for Val's grave, so what was on that?
Well, no, because Rio was on the ship, so they sort of buried him. Like, he got...
Yeah, Rio was on the ship, but we have to assume that he had at least some personal effects of Val's, considering now we know they were
Maybe, yeah.
married. You have to assume he had something.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah,
Also, something we should have mentioned earlier.
Hmm?
They had some reservations about hiring Han. And they asked, or Val asked Woody Harrelson at one point if they should get Bossk, which I thought was a really cool
Yeah.
nod.
it was
I
just a
loved
nice
that
little
tie-in.
reference.
I loved that.
For those of you
Why
unaware,
did we get
Bossk
I have no idea. What that
Oh.
means.
Bossk is the lizard boy from the bounty hunter lineup in Empire Strikes Back.
Well, he's also the one
He
that
wears
wanted
the
to
yellow
skin
uniform.
Oh,
Chewie,
yeah.
right? He was the one who wanted to skin Chewie and
Yeah.
his like pelt on his wall.
Yes, because in the lore, Trandosha and Kashyyyk are very close to each other, and
Not
Trandoshan
friends.
make a habit of enslaving Wookiees for the Empire.
Yeah.
They also have really cool regenerative abilities when they're young.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've always liked Bossk. Again, if you've got time, I recommend reading the Bounty Hunter Anthology collection, which is just a tale for each of the bounty hunters in the Empire lineup. It's really cool. I like Bossk, so it made me happy. That's like, hey, he's actually an established figure in this universe.
Yeah, it's nice.
And he showed up in the Clone Wars cartoon for like 2 episodes, so
Wait,
he's
did he?
yeah.
That's
So
exciting.
yeah, no, that show got a whole season that was just bounty hunter adventures, which was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, that was the Cad Bane arc. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. That was badass.
Yeah, that was. I want to rewatch that show. It's on Netflix. But Bossk, cool character. He got a little like, hey, he's important to things. You just don't see the things. But it's cool that he got the mention.
Oh yeah.
So
they're gonna meet up with the people that they are working for. Also, yeah, Woody Harrelson reveals that they were actually working for someone, to steal the
Red
shit.
Sun.
Red
Or
Dawn.
Crimson
Dawn. Wow, we all fucked that up.
Whoops.
But yeah, so I mean, Red Sun. Yup. No, but yeah, Crimson Dawn is, I guess,
Crime
criminal-
Syndicate. Crime Syndicate.
Syndicate. Yeah.
They are more or less the non-expanded universe of Black Sun.
Run by Vision.
Not
Yeah,
Vision.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Vision from the
Avengers.
MCU, from Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is Paul Bettany is just Crime Lord, which
I-
was
Crime Lord Paul Bettany.
He was a very enjoyable character, and I
He
kind of
was.
wish we had more of him.
his character
He
was
a
dry.
lot of fun.
His character was Dryden and Voss. Now going
I
into
liked
this,
those knives. I
He's-
wanted those knives.
now
Oh,
going
the
into
vibra
this,
blades or whatever. Whatever they were, laser.
We'll get to
Yeah,
those.
knives, yeah.
Laser
getting
dagger
into
thing.
this,
Yeah.
I had no idea Paul Bettany was in this film.
I didn't either. When he showed up, I'm like, is that fucking Vision? Sweet.
See, before he showed up, I heard the voice, and I was like, wait, Jarvis? And then I was like, wait, he's also Vision. And then he walked in, and his first line is like, hello, Beckett. And I'm just like, oh.
He was so enjoyably like whimsical in this movie.
I believe his first line was, "It's a party. Why do I
Yeah.
get so worked up?"
It's so good.
And then drink easy.
I also love his introduction. Just he's busy dealing with the regional governor. Immediate smash cut to him stabbing a dude. Yes.
Yeah, no, he was a really great character.
That was him
he
stabbing the
so
regional
cool.
governor.
He was
Yeah.
so cool.
It was like,
So-
he's in a meeting with the governor.
Yeah, dead. What? But then, so before that, we learn that Kira is working for him now. Kira meets up with Han on Vision's yacht,
Which is just a big stick, really, that flies around and looks
it's
nice.
just a giant. It has a very goofy way of flying. It makes me
It's
sort
a
of giggle
sideways
every time I
pyramid.
saw it.
It's a
It was
sideways
cute.
elongated pyramid.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
But yeah, he has like this yacht that has like a cantina in it, basically.
Yeah?
And yeah, so Han meets up with
Yeah, basically, like, do you guys remember the scene when, in The Departed, when Jack Nicholson did all the cocaine with all, like, those hookers?
Yeah, it's pretty much that.
It was
It's-
kind of
it's
like that.
scene.
Yeah.
And there's another weird Star Wars universe song, which was funny because
It was a duet.
There was basically what's his name from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Krang.
Yeah, it's basically Green Krang, but tinier, and he has this little microphone in his pod, and he just sings, and it's really cute.
Yeah, so this woman does a whole bit, and then just little green Krang in a jar rolls into frame and starts singing. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
And he's got a hilariously
With an
deep voice,
extreme
too.
bass.
Yeah.
He has a really deep voice. You can also hear the bubbling in the background too. From the pod.
As
So
opposed
good.
to Krang, who's up here, you know?
Yeah.
So that was
They
fun.
go to the yacht. They meet up with Kira, and then it's revealed that Kira also knows Woody Harrelson. And
Mm.
so all all 5? There were 5 of them. It's Han, Chewie,
Han, Chewie,
Woody,
Beckett,
Yeah.
and Kira. So that's 4 right now.
Yeah.
Beckett,
So
Kira,
all
and
4 of
Bossk.
them and Vision go up to his office, and I'm just gonna refer to him as Vision throughout this.
One last thing before they went up, something we didn't
Yeah.
touch on. The entire yacht party
Mhm.
is littered with aliens from the original trilogy, as well as a few new
Oh,
ones.
it was really cool. Well, even like throughout this movie, there were a ton of references. Like at the bar later,
Both,
and
like
at
the
the
Well-
end
original
scene.
trilogy and the prequels. So,
Like
Yeah.
the two-headed guy and the dude with the 6 eyes in,
Yeah, they
in
were-
the later scene, that was from episode 4 and 5.
Yeah, there were a lot of callbacks to the original trilogy aliens,
Hell,
as
they might have been the same puppets too.
opposed to episode 7, where it's like, here's 40 new species.
Yeah, which was like, because I think there was like 1 recognizable species in Maz's castle, and that was literally it.
And even then, he was outside in a boat,
Yeah.
the Ethorium. But
Yeah.
either way, I think this
Hold
one...
on.
I feel like there was a fifth
Did you
there.
just call him an Ethorian?
Did I miss-say that? I haven't read that.
Ithorian.
I haven't read that
There's
since
no
I was like...
E's there.
Alright, I haven't read it since I was like 8 in
I'm
writing.
pretty sure there was a Biff there, wasn't there?
Biff Tamron?
In episode 7? No. Anyway, whatever. So they go up to the office, and they and there's this really great conversation, which I fucking love this scene. Basically Vision's like, alright, you fucked up the heist, so now I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then Han basically, Han and Woody Harrelson sort of talked their way out of dying, and like, we'll pay you back. And then Vision's like, how will you pay me back?
I
And
want
then
to
there's
not kill you, but give me some reason to not kill
and
you.
there's a great scene where Han's like, we can find maybe a mine that has unrefined coaxium. And there's a mine on, and he starts like stuttering and like trying to lead someone into saying something. And then I think, who was it?
It was Chewie.
Vision or
It was
Kira?
Chewie.
No,
No,
it was Chewie was the second one.
No, it was Kira.
Yeah, Kira is just like, there's a mine on Kessel, and then Han's like, yes, the Kessel mine. I hear that's a great one, and it's such a good scene because he's just like
then-
improving his whole way through. This
That was when
conversation.
I very
Then-
much started to buy into him being
Him being
Han.
Han, yeah.
Because it was exactly when he's trying to talk to Greedo in the cantina in the
Yeah,
first
like-
one,
And then
I
Voss is just like, well, that's all well and good.
Pay Jabba back, but I was busy, like. But yeah,
Tell Kanji
and so
Club
then
I'll
Voss
get
is
his
just-
money. It was very
Yeah.
Han Solo.
Yeah,
Which is
it was
nice.
very, very reminiscent of Harrison pulling a Han.
It was
God,
great.
Um,
That was when I started buying that Alden Ehrenreich could
and
fill
so
the
they
shoes.
Just kind of all the
basically-
flustered stuttering and but I totally am. I just need
Doing
I
his
need a little more
absolute
time and-
best to fake confidence while still having
Exactly,
absolutely
yeah.
no plan.
Well, he does that throughout the movie. There's another great scene at the end.
We'll
but-
get there.
Yeah.
But
And so then Voss is like, well, it's great that you know where to get the unrefined shit, but that's
where do you
practically
refine-
worthless.
Yeah, it
Where are you
basically
gonna make it?
the plot point in the movie is the stuff will explode if it's out of the vault for too long and not being refined. So they're like, oh, there's this refinery near Kessel that we can go to that to get it refined fast enough.
Well, wasn't it not near Kessel because that's why they needed a really fast ship?
Well, they
Wasn't
needed a
that the
fast ship
point?
because it degrades so fast. It was marginally near considering how big the Star Wars galaxy is.
it was
Touche.
Yeah.
it was close enough
It
that
wasn't like Tatooine to Coruscant.
let's say this. It was the closest option, but it was not close enough to be convenient.
Yeah, so basically they need to find a ship, and then basically do the Kessel Run as fast as possible.
Which
Which
they
you can see
say,
where this is going.
Yes.
I wonder what this leads to.
and they do make it a point in this movie that the fastest anyone's ever done it,
It was 20.
20, is the
Well,
record
'cause-
at this point.
Again, parsecs is a distance, so what I took that to mean is either they retconned it and still just straight up made it time instead, or the distance actually mattered, and it was the only thing keeping people from doing it less than 20 was the fact that they had to go through the channel, or else they'd have to go through the
we'll
network.
get there,
Yeah,
but
the expanded universe reasoning is it was all black holes in there in the maw around Kessel.
Yes.
So to do it in 20 was the safe route. If you did it in 12, you were probably too close to a black hole.
You had to cut through something, which they sort of did in the movie, but we'll get
they
to that.
it now makes sense
there's
when
also-
used either as a unit of distance or time. So no matter how you want to see it in Star Wars, it now works both ways.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
you could also argue that like there's also a weird like physics thing where distance and time are
Relative to a
Similar?
degree.
true.
but, like,
Distorted when you get close to a black
And
hole.
also,
Yes.
this is where it gets really kind of funny with like the new movies, because like in Return of the not Return of the Jedi, in Episode 7,
Yes.
Rey is talking about like really having a like being a fan of the like the Millennium Falcon, and they're talking
Yeah,
about,
like she knows
doing
about
the
it,
Kessel Run and what did you say, like
She's
15
like
parsecs?
14,
and
and Han's like
in
12.
12.
14 parsecs.
But so that's funny because there's a line later where it's not really plot relevant, so I'll say it now. He basically Han's like, yeah, I just did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. And Chewie just growls, and he's just like, not if you round down. So he did it in 13.
I'm still like 12.75.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
So Rey was
Closer?
kind of right.
Almost
Yeah.
closer?
So, she was only one off. But, so yeah, they need to find a ship that is fast enough to do the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. So, cut to...
You know where this
I
is
know a
going.
smuggler. He has one of the fastest ships in the galaxy. Lando. He's just hanging out in a
Childish
bar playing
Landino.
cards.
Rumor has it he
Let's
won it in a
go.
game of cards.
Yeah, so he's just hanging out in this bar playing cards.
And his
yes.
opening line is such a goddamn brilliant
I
Billy
love
D.
Lando in this movie.
Just-
I genuinely
I'm
love him in
sorry,
this movie.
I'm sorry, but
He,
like
he does a great Billy D impression for his opening few
Oh my
minutes.
god, yeah.
Donald Glover is like he was born to play Lando.
He
He's
really-
great in
I
everything
want
he
more
does.
Lando.
He
in these
owned it.
movies.
He really owned this part.
He is great in everything he's in. He's like he was great in Community. He was great in Atlanta. He's great in this.
He's a
He's good at
really
music.
solid
As,
actor.
he's great as Childish Gambino. Like
Donald Glover's
he's
just
like
he's
a
good at
treasure.
being entertaining, pretty
He's a
much.
treasure.
he's a great artist.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's hanging out in a bar playing what is it, Sabak?
Yeah.
So
A
he's
card
playing
game.
he's playing basically Star Wars
Poker.
And Kira, we forgot to mention Kira
Was
Vision
forced to go on the
sends
heist.
Kira with them on the heist so that she can see to make sure that Woody Harrelson and Han don't fuck it up.
And Chewie, don't forget.
Well, yeah, Chewie's just sort of along for the ride, but he does like a lot of really fun stuff in this movie.
We'll talk about Chewie later, because I actually have a
Yeah,
lot I
that's-
want to unpack.
Oh, there's something I gotta bring up when we get to that scene.
There's a lot with Chewie in
Yeah.
this one.
So, so they go to meet Lando, and Kira's like, all right, cool. This guy will not part with his ship, but maybe we can convince him to go with us. And Han's like, no, I got a plan.
Even
So,
though he's retired, supposedly.
He goes and enters the game, and basically through a series of escalating bets, he eventually gets to the point, oh, I fly this really fast ship. How about you? And Lando casually is just like, oh no, I have a really fast ship too. What if we bet both of our ships on this last hand?
Well, Han bets a lot, and then says,
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like
yeah.
you can't cover the bet. So that probably means I'm gonna win.
And then
At
Lando's
which
like,
point
nah, I
Lando's
got
like,
a
oh,
ship.
fine, I'll match you with my ship against yours.
Yeah. So, Han loses because Lando's a filthy fucking cheater.
Yeah.
Card
He
shark.
has
He
this
has
little
this- he
device
has
in
a
his
machine.
sleeve that projects
Very-
like certain cards that he
Oh no,
needs.
he puts a card into it
Yeah.
before the game starts, and then he can switch it out with a card in his hand whenever he
Well, the
needs
thing
by
is-
distracting you.
Even Han said that it was from a separate deck. It wasn't like he didn't like steal it during one of his hands or something and like put it in there. No, he straight up had that in his sleeve the whole time and just wasn't using it.
Before he even gets to the place.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the most powerful cards in the game of Sabacc. Sorry.
Yeah.
Kind of a
Yeah.
nerd, know how to play. Oops.
Yeah, exactly. So
That could be a fun stream sometime, actually.
Is it on Tabletop Sim?
We
Dude.
can make it on Tabletop Sim very easily.
Yeah,
So-
it probably is.
So, Sabacc stream coming soon. Anyway, they
That
Lando
was just-
wins.
It
and-
also leads to some fun interactions. Han calls it Sabacc,
I love.
and-
Oh, also,
which
Yeah.
leads
So
to
what is this again? Sabacc?
Sabacc.
there's also we also get Lando mispronouncing Han's name on purpose, and that sort of explains away the flub in episode 5 where Billy D
versus
says
Han.
Han. Which
I like to
I
take-
can appreciate it.
I like
that's,
to
an
take that
actual
as-
characteristic of Lando that he's
I like-
just that much of a dick.
I like to take it as him being petty and making fun of Han, because
Yeah.
it's like Sabacc, Han, you know, so it does the same pronunciation for each kinda.
Yeah.
So I think that was fun.
Yeah, but so Han goes off and starts talking at the bar with Kira, and then we have this secondary introduction to Lando where he comes down the stairs with his cape flowing and shit, and he just approaches Han like,
You know,
"Hey,
as
buddy."
he does.
And then he starts talking with Kira, who he knows, because Kira somehow knows literally fucking everyone in this universe now. But
Well, she does work for a criminal organization.
Yeah. But she
And
starts
Lando
talking.
was a
This
smuggler.
is pretty much Star Wars Mafia. Like the Crimson Dawn, which Kira works for again, is very like high tier. Even
You don't find them, they'll find you.
Yeah.
it's
Well, that's
even
even said later in the movie.
it's even implied that on quite a few occasions the Empire turn a blind eye or help out and stuff. Like they're up there.
So she's talking with Lando, and she's like, "All right, we need your ship for a thing," and he's like, "I want, what was it, 40% of the cut or 50% or something?"
yeah.
He
And
was
then
calling for 40.
She's like, "Fuck no!" And then Woody Harrelson arrives and is like, "You're gonna do it for 25." And then
So
Lando's
this-
like, so it's actually revealed that Woody Harrelson killed Aura Singh off screen at some point before
Yeah.
the movie.
And for those
Um,
of you who don't know who she is,
Badass bounty hunter.
she
Pushed her off a cliff.
yeah, and
I
again,
think he said building, but same difference.
I think all he said was,
I just pushed her,
he's
the
like,
fall killed her.
Yeah, you killed Aura Singh. No, I just pushed her. I'm pretty sure the fall killed her.
but
Such a badass line. I love
Kind
it.
of like that Top Gear line. It's not the crashing that kills you; it's the sudden deceleration.
Yeah.
But so for those of you who don't know who Aura Singh is, she shows up a lot in the Clone Wars, helped raise Boba Fett, and she's even in the Phantom Menace, prepared to snipe someone out of the pod race if need be to rig it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that scene. That like, there's a bunch of Tusken Raiders that it just pans over and she's just randomly fucking there taking pot shots at people. It's like, what the hell?
And even in the
Well,
stands
yeah,
at the finish line,
you
she's up there
hire
too.
her, and then you bring in a bunch of Tusken Raiders to hide her, and it's
Yeah.
just Tuskens shooting. No.
She's in like three
Okay.
different.
And if one shot happens to take some dude's head off, it's like, oh, lucky shot. But yeah, she pops up periodically in a few of the movies and a lot of the expanded universe stuff, at least from the Legacy universe, and even
Yeah.
some of the new stuff too.
Especially in Clone Wars, which is
Yeah.
obviously canon. She's very important there a lot of the time. But not Tobias
I'm
Beckett.
pretty sure she's in the Jabba's palace scene in the Clone Wars movie too. So she's
Yeah.
just kind of floating around.
I do
periodically.
appreciate the allusions to established bounty hunters. Yeah, no, they really tie everything together quite well in this
that's
film.
what I can appreciate about Disney and the new writers for the various Star Wars movies is that they have a grasp on what Star Wars is, even the Legacy universe stuff. So they can basically pull in nods to different things whenever they fucking want. So like you might see some of the stuff that it was canon, like some of the good stuff from the Legacy universe, but then again, stuff might be rewritten. So it's really nice seeing them reconnecting stuff that was previously removed, and that's really cool. I like that. But yeah, so
I really like that
Beckett
nod.
apparently pushed her. Okay. I just like the idea that Beckett is so badass that he didn't shoot her or anything. He pushed her off a building or a cliff or something. One of the galaxy's most feared bounty hunters. Goodbye, off the cliff.
Yeah. So that was a fun
But yeah,
nod.
so Lando's like, okay, for you, I'll do it for 40. And he's like, nah, you're gonna do it for 25. And then Lando Kira, I'm gonna do it for 25. I like it, because like he's frowning when he's facing Woody Harrelson, turns around to Kira, is already smiling when the camera cuts around. It's so good. And it's totally what Lando would do. So they go out to find. Well, no, they meet up with what's her name. Fuck, what was her name? The droid.
Was it E3? E9?
L337.
L3.
It's literally
So-
leet, because fuck you. It's L337.
They meet up with
Who is
her.
screaming about
She's-
droids' rights?
I
she's
hated this
a-
character. I really did.
I didn't hate her as much as I thought I would, honestly. But she's Lando's co-pilot and a droid activist who is also a droid. Which she got a little annoying at times, but I mean, we've had to deal with 3PO's random mumbling.
I
for,
prefer
for
him
6
so
movies.
much. I loved him over this.
I do love 3PO.
Like, here's an actual interaction with L3. L3, what do you need? Equal rights? It's like, come on, that's so ham-fisted.
It is ham-fisted, but I did kind of.
I mean,
this. I kind of. What do you need? Equal rights? And then just Lando just frowns and turns around and walks away. It's like, yeah.
I just find like droid rights activism. That's like
I sort of get it because
I
even
get
in
it,
episode
I
4,
get it,
the
and,
cantina doesn't even all in. Which
I
at least
do
this bar
get
let
it.
droids in.
They referenced that line. We don't serve their
We don't
kind
serve
here.
their kind here.
Yeah,
and she goes, yeah, they
L3's
don't even serve our.
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
Which,
It was
haha,
like
funny jokes. Funny Star Wars jokes.
yeah, I mean, I didn't mind L3 as a character. Like
No.
she was like, I wouldn't have missed her if she wasn't there, but I
Yeah.
wasn't annoyed by her presence either.
She wasn't entirely necessary.
The way her arc concludes, that actually ends up being... That actually adds up and... ends up adding so much to the original trilogy. I enjoy, which I'll talk about when we get there.
I can totally appreciate that because
We'll
it
get there.
also, yeah. They go they go to this to the Millennium Falcon, which has been impounded or like
Yes.
yeah. So Lando's like, shit, they can't do that. I'm gonna have some words with someone about this. And so he gets Chewie and Woody Harrelson to take the chains off the landing gear in exchange for
Meanwhile,
5% of his
yeah,
share off the job.
Beckett just goes, "You should have known about this. That just cost you 5%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
right.
like it.
Like it?
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't agree with
Agree
it.
with it? But I accept
it. It's such a good thing. But he's like counting down on his hands, and then it turns into a handshake. That's so cool.
Also, keep in
Visually,
mind-
that's really awesome.
Keep in mind, at this point, everyone's just in their normal clothes, and then Lando's here in a massive fur pimp coat.
Yeah. No, he has like this like ridiculous cloak. It's so good. The costume design for Lando was just as good as it was in the original trilogy.
It's consistent, I'll give him that.
Yeah. So they get on the Falcon and they get ready to go to Kessel to get the stuff so they can get the ship for Vision. We see I'm gonna keep calling him
I
that.
know.
We see Chewie and Woody Harrelson playing fuck, what is it called? The chess game.
Space chess.
Space chess. So they're playing it, and there's a great scene where Chewie tries to knock the pieces off the table, and his arms just go through the holograms, and Woody Harrelson's like, you can't knock him off the table, it's a hologram. It's really funny.
Just his delivery, like, you can't knock him away!
It's so good. He's so awesome in this movie.
You also kind of see why you should probably, like, most of the times, like, let the Wookiee win.
Yeah. Which is funny, because in episode 4, we see him playing with 3PO and R2.
And R2 wins,
good.
right?
I think 3PO's about to win.
R2 starts to win. At which point Han says,
yeah, Chewie
"You should
gets
let the
angry.
Wookiee win. He can rip people's arms off." And 3PO turns to R2. R2, might I suggest a new strategy?
Let
the Wookiee
win.
But yeah, no, it was a nice nod to episode 4 there. But so they go to Kessel, where basically they're while on the way there, Han and Kira have a makeout session in Lando's closet, where we see a fuck ton of Lando's capes.
He literally has 3 different closets.
It's a walk-in closet.
It's a walk-in closet with
walls
3
covered
segments
in capes.
full of capes.
I'm sorry.
It's so good.
And it
it's
has
only
it-
capes. There's no shirts. There's no pants.
And it has its own soundtrack, too.
The detail to just give him, like, a wardrobe full of his
Yeah, actually, I'm
multicolored capes.
I'm listening to the Solo soundtrack right now, and there's track 11 on the soundtrack is literally Lando's closet. It's really funny.
I think that's the most Lando thing ever, not having his own soundtrack, but also having his capes. Having his capes have a soundtrack.
Yeah. So they go to Kessel, and they basically meet up with the dude who runs the place. And basically the plan is that Beckett is dressed as a security guard, wearing the same outfit that Lando wears in episode 6 when they go to rescue
Han.
when they
rescue Han from
Implying that costume has been on the Millennium Falcon for about 15 years.
Actually,
To be fair, it's a very generic guard costume.
I
Yes,
think
it
I
is.
noticed something. I think Beckett actually brought it, because having watched it a second time, when Han and Beckett are having their
Yes, he
their
pulls it out of
scene.
that very large duffel bag.
But it's right after the scene where Chewie and Beckett are playing chess. When it cuts to them sitting around like the couch, on the couch you can see the helmet, and Beckett was pulling like more stuff out of a bag. So I think he brought it with him, which I guess it is used. It's not only since episode 6, it's been used in a lot of different Star Wars media for a bunch of different gangsters and people. So yeah, it is probably just like commonplace guard armor, I guess.
Even
for
then,
different
after
criminals.
Solo, it's been on the Millennium Falcon for 15
Yeah,
years.
no, that's fair. After the events of Solo, it's just been sitting probably in Lando's closet during that whole time.
Though Han has probably used it on a couple of heists.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly, yeah. So, we go. Basically, he's dressed as a. Beckett's dressed as a guard for Kira, who's the regional
Advisor to the Vice Admiral or something.
advisor to the Vice Admiral of interplanetary trade and commission or something like that.
Trade and commerce.
Throwback to the,
Yeah.
like the bureaucracy of the prequels.
Yeah. Which, It was funny. I like that
I
scene.
think it was also just throw a bunch of names at them so
Yeah.
they don't really know who
So they
we're
don't
referring
look
to
you
here.
up on like something and just like, hey, that person's not a thing. But so she basically offers Han and Chewie as slaves. So they go off. They go off for the reconditioning process. Meanwhile, Kira, L3, and
Which is apparently very painful, but effective.
very effective. Quite effective actually. So they go off to do that. Meanwhile, Kira, L3, and Woody Harrelson go with the leader dude up to the control center where he's giving them sort of a tour of the facility, showing them how shit goes down. And he brings Kira and L3 into a meeting room and tells,
basically this is why you should invest in us tour.
Yeah. And then leaves Beckett outside. So he's just hanging around.
Still in
staff.
Yeah, still in disguise as security boy.
Meanwhile, L3 goes around and starts trying to hack into a panel after freeing an astromech, probably. It was a large astromech, but it was an astromech.
Yeah.
So he goes off and starts fucking around with people. Meanwhile, Han and Chewie have broken out. They're in like an elevator or something, and they've broken out of their
start
cuffs
fighting.
and
They
start
broke out of
beating
their
the shit
cuffs.
out of the guards.
Yeah.
Chewie rips off the arms of one
We
of the guards.
finally
and cuts-
see him pull out someone's arm after.
Cuts to Han.
That was actually
Whoa,
a
that
deleted
was
scene from
episode
7,
Yeah,
where
Yeah.
they were supposed to run into Unkar Plut again on
and rip out.
at the cantina, and Chewie, we're supposed to see the arm go flying across the room, and then
Yeah.
Unkar Plut go running out, sans one arm.
So yeah, and then Han has this great line where he's just like, see, that was the guy who had the uniform that would have fit me perfectly, but that's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
And then we next see him in a huge baggy uniform.
He's like, he looks like
He's so out of place.
it's really goofy looking.
But also,
And
again,
this huge helmet that's just flopping around on his head the whole time.
but also we're in the situation of Chewie's a prisoner and Han is local guard EXE escorting
Yeah.
him.
Yep. Which is
And-
nice to see that return
That
from episode 4 and also I think 6.
say yeah.
No, it was Leia in 6. Leia was the one who was bringing Chewie in.
And then Lando later.
Yeah.
It's just a consistent thing.
So, they break out and they start trying to make their way to the. Meanwhile, L3. Well, first off, Beckett takes out the guards that were guarding the meeting room. Meanwhile,
And he does
Kira,
this, mind you, by throwing his staff.
Hey, can you hold this for a second? Whips out 2 blasters and just starts single arming them and shooting people in the face.
It was Beckett was great. His like quick draw
Woody
stuff.
Harrelson
Once
was
again,
awesome in this
he was very almost Wild West.
He was.
Yeah, no.
He was a
Yeah,
cowboy in this
He was
movie.
very gun fu.
I'm pretty sure I noticed something also in that scene. One of the blasters he pulls out is the same model that Boba Fett uses,
Yep.
which was a nice little nod.
The,
Real quick, we
EE
forgot to go
33.
over one thing.
Yes.
We forgot to go over one thing.
Hmm?
Where Han gets his Blast Tech DL-44.
Oh yeah.
That's right. So,
It's a
all the way
sniper
back on-
rifle.
Well,
Kinda.
it's a modular blaster.
yeah. Which I think was really cool. It was really interesting because he has it throughout the rest of the movie since he gets it on the snow planet.
He has it.
Before the first heist.
He has it up through Force Awakens, even that same one.
Yeah. Which is funny. It's really funny.
It is a modified Blast Tech DL-44. It
Yeah,
is
it's-
his blaster.
Yeah.
It's basically just. I guess it was able to be configured into a rifle, but instead of having a barrel on it, it had a compensator instead.
Cassian's weapon was now in sniper configuration when he left.
So, he has that, which. My question is, where did he keep that? Because he has it.
No, he doesn't.
No,
Lando
you're
has
right.
it.
Lando
We'll get.
has it in the later scene. But so they're up in the control center, and Kira takes out helmet dude.
She fucking assassinates him.
with Terrace Kazi, which
I think
is
she
now
murders
canon
him with
again.
his own plug.
Yeah, but Terrace Kazi is canon again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
I need to stream that game at some point.
For those of you unaware, that's a real bad fighting game. Although...
It's, Star Wars Masters of Terrakazi is a fighting game in which it includes characters from the original series and then some unfamiliar characters like a Tusken Raider named Hor. Okay. But yeah,
bad game, now canon.
Well, yeah. But Terrace Kazi is a fighting style that basically is like Star Wars Jiu-Jitsu, where she just flips.
I think it's closer to,
like,
I believe
what?
it's closer to Krav Maga, if anything, because there's
Yeah.
also improvised weaponry
So,
in it.
she kills him, and then they get out. Meanwhile, L3 is helping release all the droids while helping Han and Chewie get through the facility. And there's one
Well,
part.
I think it's the astromech she first freed.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What are you looking at me for?
Go
Oh, you
for
want to
your
know what
friends.
to do? Go for your friends or something. Just move. I
Yeah,
need your
fuck
spot."
So there's this one part where this protocol droid, who I swear was voiced by Anthony Daniel,
He was.
hits a button and just goes freedom, and then literally all the slaves across the entire fucking planet get released and start throwing a massive fucking riot. It's the greatest thing ever.
This was interesting.
So there's just
Guys, you're not gonna believe what I'm seeing.
I saw a bunch of Wookiees, I saw Twi'leks, I
massive
saw
prison
random
riot?
humans.
L3, what did you do?
Cuts back to Lando, who's doing like a captain's log of his adventures, and, he's
And of
just
course,
like,
he's recording a video of himself as he does it. He
Yeah,
calls it
it's
the
so
Calrissian Chronicles.
Chronicles.
The Calrissian Chronicles. I would pay to see that.
dude, I want more Lando in these movies.
I just love the notion that Lando takes time out of his days regularly. Because keep in mind, he labeled it as Chapter 5, Part 2. So he's like
so he does
regularly
this
taking time to just record videos of
But
himself.
so, basically, he's like, alright, so there's a massive prison riot happening. I gotta help some people. Meanwhile, Han makes it down to the... Oh, wait, no. First, he and Chewie see a bunch of Wookiees that have been released but are being fucked with by some of the guards. So Chewie's like, I'm gonna go help them because I
must go. My people need me.
Either they were just Wookiees and he felt like he needed to help them, or they were his tribe. But we'll get to why I think that later.
I believe it's been confirmed. I'll look it up.
That it's
Wait,
his family.
just wait. Let
We'll
Chucky
get
get to it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to my fucking rant. Don't you worry, the Wookiee rant.
Oh.
So, basically, after that, Han goes down to the vault, and he sees this dude, and he walks up to him and just starts going, rah, 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 like, trying to mimic his voice. And the guard's just like, rah, 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 and Han just goes, that's what I said! Kicks him in the nuts. He just drops, bopped on the head, knocked out. Yes.
Meanwhile,
they're
Beckett
just like-
and Kira are just like, that was impressive.
Yeah,
That was impressive.
Yeah,
Good job.
that was, wow. Oh, alright, cool.
You competently completed your tasks for the first time this film. Good
he
job.
goes into the vault and has to move these canisters to like a cart. He moves one after a lot of
And this
effort,
is the
and then Beckett's just like-
coaxium, mind
yeah.
you.
And Beckett's just like, cool, 11 more canisters to go. And Han's just like, 11? Pulls off his armor. God damn it. Starts loading more of them on. Meanwhile, we cut back to who did we cut to at that point? I think we cut back to the riot
I think
outside.
it was Chewie. No, I think we cut to
No,
Chewie.
no.
Oh yeah, no, it was Chewie in Wookiee combat.
Yeah, so Chewie runs in and just starts like snapping people's necks by like dropping them on their
He
heads.
throws a man into the ceiling.
I really
Takes
love
guy,
this.
Flips him straight up into the ceiling with one arm.
Yeah, so I've always been a huge Chewbacca fan, and
We need to see more Chewie just
this movie gave us
destroying people.
this movie right here gave us fucking, I believe, a 20-second shot of Chewie just ripping through people,
Just
not
fucking
holding
people
back,
up.
just bare hands
Well, there's
beating
the
the
other scene later where the Wookiees meet up with, and then he does even more of it too.
Yeah, but it's great. We just get.
Oh, it's awesome.
We'll talk more about Chewie in a bit.
So Han gets his cart and starts moving it. Meanwhile, we cut to outside where the Falcon is. The riot's moved its way outside at this point. There's just blasters going off, people throwing shit, there's explosions. L3 comes out like, all right, we did it, rebellion. And then Lando just like looks at her like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And so Kira, Beckett, and L3 come out. They start making their way to the ship. Meanwhile, we cut back to Han, who's pushing this cart up the hill, and a bunch of guards come out of nowhere. And he's like, oh, well, I don't have a way to resolve this situation. And Beckett goes, improvise. And Han goes, you told me not to improvise. Chewie shows up with the Wookiees. More shots of the Wookiees fucking a bunch of people up.
Which I loved. I loved
So
the
good.
Wookiees beating the crap out of people.
Chewie suplexes a man onto his spine, so that was awesome.
Yes.
His head disappears for a couple of frames, and it's like,
Yeah, his
he's
head
buried.
either goes
He
into
is
the ground.
buried.
His head either goes into the ground or it's gone.
Or it goes into his body, because that's where you see it pop out of.
Yeah.
So Chewie literally suplexes a man inside out.
Yeah.
And
So-
I think that's just great.
Chewie and Han and one of the other Wookiees, who will be named in a moment, start pushing a cart up the ramp and out the airlock out to the
Out into the hangar area.
out into the hangar area where the Falcon's parked. And they're pushing it across, and then we hear the name of the Wookiee. Hang on one sec.
It's Malabak, right?
It's Mala from the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Chewie's wife,
So
right?
If you guys are
Yep.
wondering how the Star Wars Holiday Special fits into this timeline,
The Star Wars Holiday Special is not canon. However,
That
characters from
that
it,
family now is.
yeah,
we see Mala. We don't see any of the others. Thank God. We don't have a bizarre scene where Itchy watches Wookiee porn for 10 minutes. That's a thing that happens in that movie. Yeah, she's in this movie. She is canon now. Which is
also
interesting.
also if you guys haven't seen the Star Wars Holiday Special, go watch the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Go
Or-
watch it.
It's definitely worth it.
Or save yourself and don't watch it.
I mean,
Either
we'll
some-
be-
John flying. It's the best
We'll
movie
be
ever
talking
made,
about
right?
it
Right,
at some
Chucky?
point. It's fantastic. B. Arthur as an owner of a cantina on Tatooine? Yes, please.
Okay.
Anyway, so they get the stuff to the Falcon and they're loading it, and then Lando's like, "Where's L3?" And just because he said it, she gets fucking shot.
Now hang on. You skipped
Well,
over
She's making her way back to the ship while screaming freedom,
right.
and then she gets shot.
You also skipped over one of my favorite parts in the fucking movie, though.
Hmm?
Han, Chewie, and all the Coaxium arrive at the Falcon.
Mhm.
Lando walks out, shouts Han, throws him his blaster, and Han takes the classic Harrison Ford "I'm gonna shoot a bitch"
Well, no,
stance.
Lando's been out there
Classic
taking pot shots
Yeah.
at everyone
Yeah,
for a
But-
while
he's been
now.
dual wielding both his.
But we get a cool tracking shot of Han and Lando shooting at people side by side, immediately into Chewie beating people, and it's the
Well,
three of them
yeah.
just kicking ass at their
While
prime.
the Wookiees are beating shit up and moving the stuff onto the Falcon.
It's just Han and
It's so
Lando
good.
being badass in a gunfight, and as a Han fan, it was exactly what I wanted from this movie. Just Han being a badass.
So then L3 gets shot, and Lando's like, shit. And there's a really I will honestly gonna say the choreography on his little like run that he makes from the Falcon to L3 was really cool. He like hurdles an astromech droid, slides under like a
falling pillar.
a falling like pillar. There's like explosions
And then
shit.
that,
It's really
that
cool.
knee slide up to her was just pure beauty.
Yeah, it's really well done. And he tries to carry her, and her legs fall off. So he's like, "Fuck!" He starts carrying her torso. He doesn't actually say that. I'm just imagining a Star Wars movie where instead of like a bunch of stormtroopers running in and going, blast them. They're like, fuck them up. It's like, what the hell?
Well, keep in mind they also use blast
Tonal shift, guys.
They also use blast as a swear, so it's
It's literally fuck them up.
so like I know it's the same as shoot, like shoot or shoot them, but no, in my canon it's fuck. So whenever stormtroopers arrive on scene, fuck them.
Yeah. So that's my headcanon now too. So he starts bringing L3 to the Falcon, then he gets shot in the shoulder. So Chewie's like, now's my time to shot. So Chewie and Han are basically like, it's time. They run up. Chewie just grabs Lando, who is carrying L3, and just sprints towards the Falcon. Meanwhile, Han's standing behind him, just firing at random people.
So
for anybody who has seen Archer, it was kind of Cyril taking the M16 and screaming, "Suppressing fire!"
Yeah.
Not much effect, but it kept everybody's heads down.
And then Kira shows up with like 4 or 5 thermal detonators and just starts blowing the fuck out of a bunch of turrets. Then it's just like, are we going yet?
And before they leave, Chewie has a nice little moment with Mala, like gives her a love headbutt, and this is
he gets offered the chance to leave with the Wookiees, and he's like, well, no, I'm gonna follow Han around now.
And this actually makes him a much more multi-dimensional character to me, because in the original trilogy it's like, why do you have him? Life debt. And yeah, we see the life debt in this, but we also see like Chewie repays it and then has the chance to leave but decides to go.
Well, to be fair, in the expanded universe, a Wookiee's life debt is never repaid.
Well, that's true, but just in context of the movies, I think this time around we saw Chewie have a lot more agency in his own decisions than we've ever seen for him before, and that was really cool to me.
He ditches Han during that scene to save the Wookiees.
Yeah.
You can sort of tell he's a bit conflicted, but he does still ditch Han. But then when he's given the option to go with them forever, he's like,
Han tells him to do it. Han tells him to do it, and then he'll see him later.
True. But so they get on the ship, and then we have this really emotional moment, which I think was extremely well done between Lando and 3 as she shuts down. Which it was kind of emotional.
Where she says
honestly.
Lando about 50 times, but you know.
I mean, she's shorting out. She's an excuse. Meanwhile, Han goes to fly the Falcon while they're
for the first time.
Moment, which there's a really cool scene where he jumps into the seat like Harrison Ford would, starts powering stuff up. The original trilogy music starts, and it's a really good scene.
So he smiles as he does that, and that to me, I think. This whole first sequence, obviously, from their firefight to hopping into the Falcon for the first time, it's my favorite sequence in the film.
Oh,
just because, as a Star Wars fan, you know, the movies, especially the original trilogy, have always had, like, a real nice sense of whimsy and shit about them.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we see Han, who's usually disillusioned, get his own little, even if it's just for a few minutes, his romanticized version of what he wants the world to be. We see him find the dreams he's chasing and actually be really thrilled about. And it was really cool for him to have that, even if just for a minute.
Which is cool because after L3 dies, Kira and Chewie leave him to have his moment. And
Kira joins Han in the cockpit.
Yeah,
and Han's like, well, I need a co-pilot.
I need a co-pilot. She sits down. It cuts to Chewie. He looks a little bit disappointed. So he's like, sits down. And then they're trying to,
Is this when they run into the Empire?
Just about,
When they need it?
They're going through the channel in the
maw.
There's
the maelstrom. The maelstrom.
Surrounding Kessel, and the only way in and out is a single channel of like basically. I guess they're like
it's
probably gravity shields that are like push like a little like tunnel through the clouds. And so they're going through the tunnel, and then it's just like, does that look like a problem? Camera pans up, giant Star Destroyer that's
That
bigger than
is
the
an
channel
Imperial
just
blockade.
showing up. That is an Imperial blockade. What's it doing here? Maybe they heard about the fucking rebellion. So, Han's just like, yeah, they won't waste TIE fighters on us. We'll just be able to slip right by, and they won't even care.
Remember, I used to be one.
Yeah. 4 TIE fighters come out. Well, fuck. So, they basically there's this cool chase where they fly into the maelstrom, which everyone says is unsurvivable. Similar
And
to
this
the
is
asteroid
also-
scene in episode 5, but
And this is how they do the run in almost half the distance. They just say,
They
fuck
just-
the
they just-
trail.
yeah.
Didn't they start
Ghost.
playing the episode 5 asteroid music?
They
yet?
did.
They
It was-
did.
It was,
Yeah,
it was a
I loved it.
reorchestrated version of the asteroid theme, and it was so good.
And much like I do every time that scene in Empire comes on, I was grinning like an absolute idiot, because...
Yeah.
No, I knew you
It's
would.
that
I knew
music.
you
It makes
would.
you feel so good.
But so,
Chucky knows how much I bizarrely love that theme.
Yeah.
It's a whole to-do.
the Han's just like, we should probably push all power to the rear deflector shields, and Kira's like, yes, we should do that. Looks around like, how the fuck do I do that? Chewie just stands up, starts fucking with shit on the ceiling, does it, and he just sits down confidently, like, And Han's just like, when did you learn how to fly a
He
ship?
just stands there. He just stands there.
Yeah. When did you learn how to fly a ship? He growls and Han at 190. You look great. It's such a great line. It's
At
so
which point,
goofy, but I
Kira
love
pushes
it.
back from the co-pilot position, says, Chewie, you fly.
I'm gonna go hang out with Lando and see what he's up to. Chewie sits down, music starts again, so we have Han and Chewie alone in the cockpit for the first time. And
With the
it's-
asteroid belt theme,
and
and
it's so good.
my god, that just put a smile on my face, is the best way to say it. That was
Yeah.
just...
As
It-
it should be. It was
it-
the universe as
It was
should
it was just so good, you know. Having seen the movie the first time when I was 2, it put I got chills. You know, it was
Yeah.
damn good. As you know, it's what longtime Star Wars fans could have hoped for with the Solo film, I think.
Oh
Just
my god, yeah. But so they cut through the maelstrom and they encounter Space Kraken.
I believe it was straight Cthulhu, or very similar to it. In a gravity well, mind you.
Kind of where I checked out. It was like I had no idea why that thing was there.
Because they said that living shit was in the clouds, but no one had explored it enough to be able to say what kind of shit was in there.
And also, every trilogy
There's
needs
some
its own,
monster,
needs
yeah.
its giant
it has
beast.
its monster.
There's
The
always a
episode
bigger
5
fish.
has its space slug. Episode
Yeah.
6 has the Ewoks. You know.
Yeah.
Episode-
yeah, I
Episode
just
2
don't
has the
remember.
Colosseum. Episode
Yeah.
1
At
has
the
a
time,
fish.
I wasn't really thinking about that, and I was like, why the hell is this thing here?
It was
It
jarring.
seems really out of place.
It was a bit jarring, but once I realized, like,
It could have been cut
Hey.
from the movie, but it's not like it's unexpected in a Star Wars movie. So
Yeah,
I gave it a pass.
suppose.
I think the sequence with this Beast of Doom, it was the equivalent to the Rogue One gang trying to outrun the Death Star blast. I think that's the best comparison I have for it.
Yeah.
When they're in
Where
their
it just
ship.
didn't need to be there, but there needed to be a sense of agency, so no one's just sitting around doing nothing. But so, they figure out basically they can use while this is happening, they figure out that they can use L3's brain, because earlier Lando says that she had the best navigational database in theory in the galaxy.
Which
So-
was the only reason he didn't have her memory wiped, is to
Yes.
get rid of her droid freedom
Yeah.
ideas.
So, they use her brain and plug it into the Falcon's Navicomputer and basically download her entire brain into the Falcon's database.
Which explains all of the Falcon's future quirks.
On
that-
top of that,
Like,
right?
that explains, because 3PO talks to her in episode 5.
Yeah, and
That's
he's
the
like,
thing that happened.
and he's like, well, the Falcon has the most interesting dialect, and now we know
And
why.
it's her. It's fucking her.
On top of that, like, for reference, she's now in the little disc above the door, top left in the cockpit.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch the original trilogy, every time there's something wrong, that's the first thing Han punches every time.
Yeah.
And now we know why. He's like, you fucker.
Yeah. Don't do this right
Pretty
now.
cool. I never noticed that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like how they made
That is.
I really like how
glad
they did that.
I'm glad they integrated that.
That's so.
It
Yeah.
retroactively made...
It makes the Falcon a character now.
Yeah, the Falcon is now technically a at least partially sentient being.
Yeah.
Which is
So-
amazing.
And that helped explain why it's like one of the fastest ships in the galaxy.
Because it knows. It actually
knows
knows.
It knows the
Well,
galaxy,
that's
and
also
it thinks.
That's sort of what they did in Doctor Who too, artists. Because like in the earlier Doctor Who stuff, it's like the Doctor has a quirk of yelling at the TARDIS when stuff doesn't happen right, but it's never explained that the TARDIS is actually a living thing. And then in the more recent stuff, they've explained that. So it's another example of that
The
sort of thing. Where
TARDISes are
it's-
grown.
Yeah, which is cool. I like when you take something that previously existed without an explanation and then have like a respectful explanation for why something was happening, and that's cool.
I think it definitely adds more to the Falcon. And
It adds more of Han and Lando's connection to the Falcon as a ship. Yeah.
Yeah, and now every scene with them in the cockpit trying to figure out tech issues.
Makes it have like a different tone to it too, which is cool.
Also, remember when they're looking like, I know there's no way they could have planned this, but goddamn does it work so well.
Mhm.
In Empire, when they find out the hyperdrive's been disabled and Lando's freaking out, that section of the cockpit is the first place he walks to when trying to fix something.
Yeah.
It, like, the stars aligned really perfectly for them to be able to do that. It's
Like
not
he knew immediately where to go.
it's not some master stroke of genius that
No, 'cause they couldn't
everything
have planned that.
that everything in the original trilogy was panned out. But it makes perfect sense for them to look at it, identify, and go, put something right there.
Yeah. But so, basically the space squid is following them.
Oh yeah,
space-
Cthulhu's
space
still here.
Cthulhu Kraken thing. And it's revealed that the Falcon has plotted a way out of the maelstrom through a little, I guess, giant rock cliff passage thing. I don't know. But whatever. There's a way out. So they're like, all right, cool. We can get out now. We have to dish this fucking squid first, and also not fall into the giant gravity well that's in the center of this nebula cloud thing. They eject the escape pod so that the Cthulhu follows it, and it gets pulled into the gravity well and just sort of is floating there for a bit, and then they turn to escape, and then it's revealed, oh, well, shit, the engines aren't powerful enough to get us out of this gravity well. We're stuck, and we're just going in circles around the outside of it.
Oh, for reference for how big Cthulhu is, larger than the Death Star.
Yeah.
No, because
No, actually not. It's bigger than.
if you
It's
go to
definitely
one of the-
bigger than the space squid from episode 5.
yeah, it's bigger than the space
Or
slug.
the
But
slug.
if you go to the scene where it's trying to grab them as it's getting pulled back into the maw,
You
the
can
center
still
of
see
the
the
cluster.
Falcon there.
you can see the Falcon, and the Falcon's still fairly large in comparison to the.
That's true, but
The
in the
maw.
initial one, it was really
It was-
small. So I guess it's just kind of inconsistent then?
I guess, yeah. Well, also the tentacles too, so it looked bigger than it was on that first shot with the lightning and everything. I guess.
Yeah.
But so the they're like, oh wait, if we can use the coaxium in the fusion generator and just basically blow out the engines and fucking rock it out. And it's like, oh cool, then fucking do that. So Woody Harrelson runs out to do that. Meanwhile, they're trying to outrun the space squid, who was trying to outrun the fucking gravity well. And so there's a pretty tense scene where they're losing their window of opportunity, and Beckett's fumbling around with a bunch of shit, and they do it, and then the engines die, and it's like, oh well, fuck, they're just.
Yeah, he ripped open a med kit, didn't he?
Yeah, he was using the surgical tubing to push the coaxium through into the engine.
Like a syringe, yeah.
But so, they blow out the engine, and they're like, well, fuck, we're all gonna die. And I think there's a line where Lando's just like, oh shit. Like, they cuts him off, but you can tell exactly what he was gonna say. And then it's like, oh no, the engines are fine, and then
they kick back in, and then there's just a black screen.
Basically, they go to fucking
with a blue streak. It's ridiculous speed from or ludicrous speed from.
It's ludicrous speed
so
from Spaceballs.
good.
It's warp drive from the new Star Trek movie.
It looks so good.
Just this blue streak going across the screen.
I love it. And
it was
so
beautiful. It looks like Halley's Comet almost.
Yeah. So they go into the little canyon of two rocks that are gonna smash together, and then they make the jump to hyperspace and they get out.
Hey Kira, you remember that trick from the alley? You mean the one where you turned on our side and it didn't work?
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about that.
Yeah. I'm trying to avoid like minuscule details. Just because this is going to be a fucking long one, because we have a lot to talk about at the end.
For reference, we're maybe a third of the way through the film. Maybe half?
I'd say probably half.
And we're 2 hours into the spoiler cast almost, so...
So, they get to... What was the place that was the refinery? I can't remember.
I'm on it.
But they get there, and they're like, okay... we have coaxium that needs to be unloaded like right now because it's gonna blow the fuck up.
Also, speaking of planet names again, I just want to bounce back to when they were having the talk of how they were gonna get this done with Voss. He starts mentioning names of refineries, and he brings up Scarif as one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just love that little. Hey, this is a thing still. This hasn't blown up yet.
Because they also mention like Empire vaults specifically, and
it's kind of funny.
If you haven't seen Rogue One, Scarif heist happens. So, this planet is called Savareen.
Okay, so they get to Savareen,
and the remaining half of the movie takes place in one small coastal town in Savareen.
Yeah. So basically, I know I've said basically a lot, but. Yeah, that's how I talk. Anyway. So,
talk better.
Shut your mouth.
Oof.
Ooh, damn. But so they get to this place, they offload the coaxium, and there's this great scene between Han and Lando where Lando goes, No, I don't like you. I don't like you. I'm going to be in my cabin on my ship waiting for you to bring me my share, and then I'm fucking off. All right?
And I never want to see you again.
And I never want to see you again. And Han says something. I can't remember exactly what he said. I think it was like something like, never? And then Lando just completely silently puts his finger up and just goes, and then just walks off back to the Falcon, which, by the way, is like basically on fire.
It's basically falling apart because
it's halfway wedged in the landing pad.
It's halfway wedged in the landing pad, and during the escape from the TIE fighters, Han had Chewie lower the landing gear so he could fake crash into a boulder to kick up stone into the cockpit of the other TIE fighter, the last TIE fighter that was chasing us. You see the TIE pilot get absolutely shredded by these rocks.
There's actually, going back to that scene, one of the coolest shots, and I think the entire movie for me, is when the TIE fighter comes over the top, and Han just looks up, no, you're gonna die, turns, basically just takes the, the side of the Falcon.
Just a barrel roll.
Bitch slaps him into a rock, and he blows the fuck up.
He plays Pong with a TIE fighter.
Yeah, he just takes him, smacks him into an asteroid.
And you
So
could hear Beckett, Woody Harrelson, over the radio go, "Nice job, Han!" Like,
Yeah.
even he was like, "Damn."
Was this before or after the blaster cannon got blown off?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that line. The blaster cannon gets blown off because Woody Harrelson's in it, and he goes, "We just lost a cannon, and it really hurt my thumbs." So good. So,
and it is in like the bitchiest, whiniest voice.
it's the
possible.
goofiest thing ever, yeah. But so yeah, they're on Savareen. They got the coaxium, and they go to this like little local bar tavern tent thing. And
You go up there to collect your coaxium.
Yeah, so they go up there, and then Woody Harrelson's like, "I hear you make a really good drink," and the bartender's like, just silently turns away, and then Woody Harrelson's like, "What the fuck?" Turns around, Memphis is just there with all of like
The Marauders.
All of the Marauders.
And so
Prongs was there, Mooney was there,
Damn it.
Wormtail was there.
Shut your mouth. That's a different series.
My bad.
But so
I hate you.
we they go outside, and there's a great scene where Beckett's trying to explain to Memphis like what the deal is, and Han goes, no, I got this. Steps up. You see that ship down there? Points at the Falcon, which is down at the end of the beach.
And on fire still.
Yeah, and on fire, crash, smoking, whatever. There's about like 20 heavily armed 30 heavily armed soldiers down there. So all I have to do is give the signal, and you're fucking surrounded. Ship takes off, and Han just is like looking sadly. Memphis is looking up, turns back, just looks straight at Han, and he's just like, "Yup, okay." Turns to Woody Harrelson. You do your thing now.
All right, I've tried. You're up.
And so
Hey, that's where I'm going, John.
Woody,
Get out of
Woody
here.
Harrelson,
Go now.
Woody Harrelson goes, so we could all just stand here having like a Mexican standoff, and then Crimson Dawn's gonna fucking arrive, and they're gonna kill literally everyone. So we can do that. And Kira's like, can we not do a plan that involves literally everyone dying? Thanks.
Actual line.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Memphis comes up and reveals that
Hey, I'm a chick.
yeah, hey,
And also
and also really young.
I'm also
So-
small child, yeah.
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 So she takes her helmet off, and then all of the Marauders take their helmets off, and we have like a Rhodian, we have a bunch of different species. Warwick Davis is there, and he has like this huge fucking
Yes.
rocket launcher. It's so good.
It made me really happy to have a roadie in there as well.
Oh my god. And he also has a line in this movie finally.
Yes,
Warwick Davis
for
or the
once.
Rhodians?
Yeah, Warwick Davis.
Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was cool to have a roadie in there because we like they're a really
The
neglected
last one we
species when it
saw,
comes
the last
to-
one we saw in the movies was Greedo, and he got shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was the episode where they go to Rhodia on
Yeah, they're very.
Clone Wars.
They become increasingly important throughout the Clone Wars, but
Yes.
in the
And so,
movies, we've had Orange Boy on Savareen and Greedo.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's where
But
we
so-
are with
so
that.
she takes-
Where's my
she takes her
Rhodian
helmet off.
rights?
So
Go
she
ahead.
takes her helmet off and is just like, all right, cool, I need a drink. They all go into the tavern. She starts explaining.
And basically explains, you know,
Commences
we're
exposit.
all we've all been
that all of our
wronged
home
by
worlds have been fucked by the Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn.
So we're here basically to fuck over all their shit and basically build up an army capable of rebelling. I wonder what this is going to turn into. So basically it's a coalition of people who have lost their worlds to Crimson Dawn. And probably the Empire as well.
Crimson Dawn and the Empire. This is where
Yeah.
they mentioned that the Empire has sometimes turned a blind eye to how powerful Crimson Dawn
Yes.
is because they get kickbacks.
Yeah. So, Han decides to formulate a plan in order to fuck over Crimson Dawn, still get paid, and also help Memphis. and he tells Woody Harrelson this, and Woody Harrelson's like, all right, you can do that plan. I'm
gonna
off
walk away so
'cause
I don't die.
Yeah, I have one more thing I need to do, and then I'm going back home and chilling out.
No thanks. I choose life.
So he fucks off, and Han's like, well, shit, let's do the plan. Vision arrives in his ship. It's really funny, but I can't stop doing it.
It's Voss. It's not that hard.
It's Dryden Voss.
I like calling him Vision. Shut up. So he shows up.
Bettany McGee arrives.
He shows up in his stick ship. And
Did you
he
mean
parks it.
shift?
It's the yacht from earlier.
Yeah, so he arrives and we see Han, Chewie, and Kira go on board with.
Well, they make a point. They stop at the weapon checks again, and Han's like, "I didn't bring my weapons."
Yeah, I don't
They make a
have
blatant
anything.
point of that.
Chewie doesn't have anything, and it's like, all right.
Chewie
cool.
does a complete 360 to show that he doesn't have anything.
Yeah, there was not any focus put on that, but just he's in the background ballet
Just-
twirl, and it's like, haha.
I love Chewie so much.
So they go up to dude's office, and they bring in the containers, and he's just like, my friends, where the fuck is Woody Harrelson? And
Where is Beckett?
yeah,
Oh,
and
he
then
died.
Han's like, he fucking died during the job, and then
During the heist.
Yeah, and he's like,
He died
well,
saving my life.
well, that's disappointing. Could I see the merchandise? And Han's just like, you want me,
what?
you want me to open it? Okay. Opens the container. We see a shot that his blaster is in the lid.
The lid of the container.
Of the container. He's just like, well, there it is. And
You can see it from where you're sitting, right?
Yeah,
Yes, you can
and
see it.
Vision's just like, no, bring me one. And Han's just like, are you serious?
Are you sure? This stuff
Oh.
is highly explosive. I watched it blow up a mountain.
Okay.
You sure you want this right next to you?
Takes the canister out, hands it to him, and he's like, oh, this is very good. And Han's just like, well, yeah, it is what you asked for. And he's like, no. See, I believe that, but I know that this is fake. So how did you make such a good reproduction? And Han's like,
How did you make it look exactly like the real thing?
Han's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's just like, well, I have a special guest who told me a little something. Takes out his little communicator.
A little.
Could you please
Here,
come in here,
please.
please?
I love that. A
Door
little
slides open,
something.
Woody Harrelson walks in with this really goofy look on his face, like, "Hello, I'm
He's kind of
apparently a villain
sad for
now."
having done this, but we also we get a moment where Voss talks to Han about how Beckett was despite being a criminal and owing people a lot of money, had a sense of honor that he can tell Han has, making Han feel really comfortable around him. And
Yeah.
he's so glad to see that Han developed Beckett's sense of honor.
And then fucking Beckett shows up, and it's like, oh, and so he's just like, no, that's definitely a fake, because he told he was give the shit to Emphas. And
So I sent my soldiers to where Emphas is to get the shit.
Cuts to outside. Vision's guys are just surrounding Emphas. Meanwhile, and then it cuts back, and he's just like, all right, so we have her, I have you, I'm gonna fucking kill you, I'm gonna go take the shit from her, we're gonna ditch this fake trash you gave me, and then everybody wins except you die. And so the soldiers take Han's blaster out of the lid, and it's like, haha,
And
we
throws
fucked
it
you
away,
over.
and yep.
And then Han goes,
he gets
yes,
a report.
but I predicted that you would overthrow it.
Yes, because
I predicted
Beckett
this.
at one point
Yeah.
says
You
humans
see-
are predictable. And so
you
Han's
see-
just like, yes, humans are predictable. Even you.
See, I estimated this. Fucking. And then it's revealed that Emphas is actually one of the villagers. And then
All the Emphas Nest people all the villagers had dressed as Emphas Nest people. All the
meanwhile,
villagers-
Emphas Nest and all her dudes are just hiding on like the rooftops and shit. They
Yep.
leap down, and there's this
All
cool
screeching at once.
Yeah, where they all take out. We see Warwick Davis like blowing
Fire
dude
his
up with a
rocket launcher.
It's so good.
I think he did like a TF2 rocket jump where he jumps off, shoots it straight down, and keeps going.
Yeah. So
he
they
did.
basically kill or kidnap all of Vision's guys. So and then Han's
So
is
Beckett
like,
has a blaster drawn at
Yeah.
this point, trained on
so
Han.
he's pointing at Han, and then Han's just like, you see, I fucked over your plan to fuck me over, and then Vision goes, so wait, that means that's the real stuff, and that's leaving here with one of us, and then Woody Harrelson goes, huh, shoots both of Vision's guys, and then Vision's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's just
And
like,
Beckett's just like, I like
he's
being
just
the
like-
only one with a blaster when doing business.
yeah. And so it's a great scene because he just shoots both of them, just 1, 2, both dead.
Meanwhile, this entire movie, he's been spouting about how you don't want to piss off Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn. Meanwhile, he just fucked over 2 of his guys, and also just did that right in front of the leader. So they
The known leader. The known leader.
we'll get to that. But so the Woody Harrelson goes, all right, here's the plan. Chewie, you're gonna put the shit in the case, and me and you are gonna fuck off. We're gonna take the stuff and go, and Han can hang out here with Kira and Vision and die. Cool beans, cool beans. So
Han gives Chewie a little nod, backs away from the canisters. Chewie picks up the canisters, and they leave.
and
At
they
which
leave.
point, chaos.
As soon as the turbo lift closes, everyone whips out weapons. Han jumps for his blaster. The dude pulls out like 2 dual-sided vibroblades or something.
I almost thought they were dark sabers from the Mandalorians, and I was gonna be so happy if that was in it.
I mean,
and
there
then they weren't,
was
and I was
Mandalorian armor.
He did have a full Death Watch
Yeah.
set,
Yes,
which
he
was
had a full-
actually.
That's why I thought it
Yeah,
was
fair
going to
enough.
be a dark saber. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, are we going to get to see this shit? Is it going to be on the big screen for once?
Dude.
Nope.
Well, we know there's a Boba Fett movie coming out, so
Yeah.
if we get to see a
I-
Death Watch
I
arc
hope
in
so.
that,
Oh god, I hope so.
So
we'll talk
But-
about the Boba
yeah.
Fett movie at the end of the stream.
So, there's this really cool fight where Han's hiding behind cover and like doing flips and shit as Paul Bettany's just like slashing the floor and shit with his knives.
And taunting Han.
Yeah, and so Kira goes and finds a sword during all this. And she basically takes the upper hand against Han.
Han gets ready to shoot. Voss gets the drop on him, and then Kira comes in out of nowhere and knocks
And
the
knocks his
blaster
blaster
aside
out of his hand, and then
points the sword
holds
at his
the sword
chest.
at his chest. And so they have this speech, and she, what was the line before, like right at the end of
You-
that?
Find your opponent's weakness. That's what
And-
you taught me. And
Yeah.
now I'm yours. Turns around and goes after Voss.
And now I'm yours. Starts fighting Voss. They have like a little
2
sword fight,
seconds.
and so then he wedges his knife in the little like groove at the top of her sword, and so she just does this dramatic spin and just fucking stabs it into his chest like an axe. And he's just like, well, fuck, and then just dies immediately.
It's not been a good year for Paul Bettany in film.
No.
No.
Gets blown up. Comes back to life. Gets a soul gem ripped out of his head.
Yo,
Comes back to life in this movie. Gets knifed by his second in command.
Jesus. Fuck, dude. Well,
2 months.
This takes place before Avengers because a long time ago.
Yeah, by the way, spoiler alert for Avengers.
Oh shit!
We
Yeah,
already
this
did a
is
spoiler
well,
cast
this
on
isn't.
that.
Yeah, but this one isn't a spoiler cast for Avengers. Fuck. So,
Sorry.
So, regardless.
It's been out almost 2 months
yeah.
now.
Come on, people. So,
Actually, I lied. Yesterday was 1 month. But it's been out a month.
Anyway,
you know,
whatever.
it's the
So-
highest grossing film in history. Everyone who cares has seen it.
Kira's like, all right, so you go save Chewie. I'm gonna steal some of the shit from here that we can sell for a ship. And so Han's like, sweet.
Looking at all these massive gems.
He leaves, and then we have the scene.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that scene wasn't necessarily yet, I don't think.
It wasn't
Well, no,
immediate yet. It
It
came
wasn't
later.
immediately.
It came a
but we
minute
can-
later. Well, let's.
Basically,
We
no,
can go over
no,
that scene now
no,
or
no,
after the other one, your
it,
choice.
it definitely was, because the next scene was just Han walking across the
You're right, you're right.
desert a little bit, so it's like negligible.
Oh,
So,
that's right.
So
basically, she takes
Kira has a Skype call with someone.
she takes Vision's ring, plugs it into his desk, and apparently that's a speed dial directly to fucking Darth Maul.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Yep.
Maul's
Yep.
alive.
Fucking Maul shows up and
With
he's
robot
just like,
legs.
yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm not familiar with much of anything outside of the movies, and I knew talking to people like friends that Maul was supposedly alive and like
He
comics
shows up in
and
Clone Wars
stuff
and Rebels.
like that.
He's very much
But I
alive.
haven't
Yeah.
seen that shit, and I didn't know he was gonna show up in this movie.
So like he shows up and basically we have this shot where we're seeing Kira at the desk and like part of the hologram with and it's just the legs and it's robot legs. And so I'm sitting there thinking like, I don't know, is this gonna be like,
I'm like, is this Palpatine? And then I hear, yes, in the Sam Witwer Rebels
it's
voice.
fucking- and then it's just oh, so it's
So
hello, pulls hood down, spiky head makeup, and he's just like, hello! And everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, the
So,
entire theater was like, what?
So for
As soon as
reference,
he shows up.
I sat up like really like just like bolt upright when
Yeah,
I
I
saw
was
this guy was
sitting-
alive.
I was sitting next to Sam, and he's slouched down in his chair, just like, well, okay, we cool. We had a great battle sequence. I can settle in for some more talking or something. Suddenly, just like, yes, hood down, and Sam just like goes, what? Sit straight up in his chair.
I had no idea it was Maul until like right before he removed his hood.
Yeah.
so there's some points of reference that made this an amusing nerd moment for me. Firstly, Ray Park did the mocap for it. Awesome.
Yep.
Secondly, he was voiced by Sam Witwer, who did the voice in both Clone Wars and Rebels. So as soon as I heard it, I was like, that's not. And
Yeah,
then
I
it
really
turns out.
It can't be.
I hadn't seen Clone Wars or Rebels, so I didn't know who it was until right before he removed his hood.
But
So-
it was cool because we saw it when Chucky and I and Sam saw it last
He
night.
has a newly designed lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
That's the one from Rebels, actually.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. But when we were going in, we saw it with our friend Dan,
I
and
forgot this. Yeah.
Dan's like, "Hey John," and I go, "Oh hi," and he goes, "I've been following you," and I go, "Oh dude, that's creepy," and he goes, "Almost as creepy as the part where Darth Maul shows up in this film." And as soon as Darth
soon
Maul
as he
appears,
does,
I turn to
don't
Dan
say
and I go,
Dan.
"How do you know?" And
You
he,
knew.
I turned to Dan and I go, "How do you know?" And he goes, "I'm sorry, I spoiled it. I thought I was making it up. I didn't know."
So Darth Maul stands up and uses the Force. By the way, the only Force and the only lightsaber we saw in this movie.
Yep.
Uses the Force to pull his lightsaber into frame.
Which is
And
his
then-
Inquisitor saber from Rebels.
Yes,
And
it
then-
is.
And then as soon as he ignites it, they play a little motif from Duel of the Fates, which I had a moment where I was like, yeah. So
Okay.
I
I really want to like talk about Maul for
Yes.
a lot longer. So
Yes, let's.
So we'll revisit him.
Let's wrap up the spoiler cast and
I
then
will enjoy the fact
and then talk a little bit about what Maul is going to be doing in the future.
getting shot in the face.
I mean, we can do it now. I don't give
One
a shit.
of-
Let's do it now. We'll talk
If
about the
there's
end
ever an
scenes.
if there's ever an Obi-Wan movie, he's going to be in it.
Oh no!
like,
if there's ever
because
Kenobi,
there is some history between
Yeah.
Yeah.
between Obi-Wan
'cause-
and Maul,
'cause-
of
Well,
course.
there's
Even
about
in-
No,
even in
Lexi.
Clone
history
Wars-
there. There's about half a history there.
No, Lexi,
Even-
a very select few characters do the spin with it, and Maul, like the helicopter spin. Yeah, that's a thing, by the way. Sith Inquisitors canonically fly by just helicoptering their blades really
That's-
quickly.
That's
Wait,
actually
John,
retarded,
John,
but-
can you tell me is spinning a good trick?
God damn it! Stop!
You're not invited to another
This is a good
spoiler
break.
cast.
Hold on.
But Maul
It
is not the boy
actually
who
is
flies
a good
away.
trick for flying straight.
Yes.
It's the same thing as with rifling in a gun. It causes it to straighten out and hold a more linear path.
I'm sorry.
This is a good prequel, Sam. Get out of here.
But Maul is
I'm
not
sorry,
spinning.
a passable, watchable prequel.
Yeah.
Maul is not a flyboy, Lexi, for reference. He doesn't fly away.
So, but yeah, no, Maul's there, and he ignites his lightsaber, and it's just like, Kira, you'll meet me on, what was it,
Wherever.
Dathomir.
Yep.
And you and I are
We
gonna
will
be
be
working a lot
much more
closely.
closely after this.
Lightsaber turns off, call ends, and she's just like, well, shit. And so
The entire
Yeah,
theater.
lying.
I'm gonna be working with a guy who has a mastery of the dark side of the.
yeah, like I'm
Or
literally
Sith.
gonna be working with a former Sith Lord who's just executed people for no fucking good
In the
reason.
theater, you could
I'm
hear,
fucked.
as soon as he pulled out the lightsaber, you could hear a pin drop, too. Like, that was a, holy shit, he's
Yeah,
back.
everyone was like, but yeah,
Oh, it's him.
so
Because if you don't watch the cartoons, this is the first time anyone's seen Maul
Seen
since
him since
99.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him since Phantom Menace, and it was the first time I've seen him since the cartoon.
yeah,
Or since you know, Phantom
Yeah.
Menace.
yeah.
Let's
So-
see, I've seen him in the comics, and I've seen him in
those aren't
the
canon
cartoons.
anymore.
No, the cartoons aren't canon anymore.
The cartoons
Even
are.
though They are amazing.
The
because
cartoons are
Uncle
canon.
Owen, they are still canon?
Clone Wars and Rebels
okay.
are canon, yes.
The thing,
No,
I'll do the
cartoons,
official
the
list.
comics are not.
Oh,
The official
Yeah.
list of what is canon. Episode 1, Episode 2, Clone Wars, Episode 3,
Solo,
Solo, Rogue
Rebels.
1, 4, 5, or Rebels 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, and soon to be 9.
and then
Yes.
the Boba Fett
In the
movie.
Dark
they
Horse
made.
comics, the actual physical comic books.
Well, he gets
Darth-
shot in the face in that.
Yes. Darth Maul shows up on Tatooine to go after Luke Skywalker to bait out Obi-Wan Kenobi. At which point
Obi-Wan and him have
chops
like
off
a
his
duel.
arm,
Yeah.
and then,
And then Uncle
he's
Owen
like,
shoots him in the
if you let
face."
me live, I'm just gonna keep coming back and keep trying to beat you. At which point, Uncle Owen takes his blaster, which has had its the stock and barrel cut off by Darth Maul, shoots him in the head.
Just like right in the face. Like, goodbye! Don't fuck with my
And
fucking adopted
Obi-Wan looks at him like, "What? Why'd you do that? He was beaten. He said he was gonna come back. I'm not letting that happen.
Yeah.
You
So-
told me to protect this kid. I'm not letting him come back."
I
Yeah.
really hope Uncle Owen shows up in one of the movies and just shoots Darth Maul in the face.
Well, Joel Edgerton, who played Owen in
Dude, I want
the
Joel
prequels,
Edgerton in more Star Wars movies.
he said he wants to do Obi-Wan. Ewan wants to do Obi-Wan. Liam Neeson wants to do Qui-Gon
Okay,
in
so
Obi-Wan.
if they want to tie it in with the current canon, they easily could do the Darth Maul shows up storyline. And
'Cause-
that's how he dies. He just gets executed by Uncle Owen.
Well,
I want that. I want Joel Edgerton to be the one to
as
kill
much
him.
as I would want that, he's very much alive in Rebels, so that can't happen. Because, like, the timeline is this, right? This Skype call with Kira is 10 years before A New Hope.
Yeah.
A New Hope is 3 months after Rebels. So there's not that much room there.
Mhm.
And Darth Maul's very much still hanging out in Rebels. And the reason it instantly clicked for me that it might be Maul when I heard the voice,
Yeah.
the last thing he does in Clone Wars, slight spoiler, is he's like, I'm fucking off to start a crime syndicate.
Oh, so he starts Crimson Dawn.
Which we now know to be the Crimson Dawn, but in the text, when at the beginning of the film, when they're like, crime syndicates are running rampant, I'm like, oh, I wonder if we'll get a offhanded reference to Maul. Nah, he's
Darth
just
Maul.
no, he's
No,
just gonna
he's
show
literally
up.
in the film. But
So
yeah,
in this, so in this film, we've had a ton of Rebels references, a ton of Clone Wars
So
references.
this one thing I wanted to talk a little bit about this movie is I haven't seen Rebels or
Clone Wars is on Netflix if you wanna catch
I
up.
probably will at some point.
I will. I'm definitely about to
I-
rewatch the whole thing. It's
The
great.
thing is, I mean, I didn't watch either of those TV shows, but there were large periods of time, 20, 30 minutes, where I forgot I was watching a Star Wars movie until they showed the Millennium Falcon or
Which
Maul.
I'm cool about. I'm cool with the anthology films taking a different tone than any of the other movies.
Or anything else, even Han and Lando and Chewie, like, I got engrossed in the story and didn't, like,
Yeah.
I forgot I was watching a Star Wars movie with, like, Jedi and Sith and the Force and
That's-
the Death Star and the
I
Empire,
definitely-
stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think both the anthology films have served infinitely
really
more
solid.
for world building than either of the
Their sequels.
the main even the main series, because like
Yeah.
they are the center stage, but then
The thing is that
the
episodes
anthologies
1,
make
2,
it
and
feel
3
like a
did
world,
lot of
you know?
building, but they also did too much world building instead of focusing on the plot.
right.
Whereas
Each
the
anthology
films
has
do a
given
good
us
job
like
of
2 or 3 planets each, maybe 5
introducing stories
characters.
that are in the universe but don't necessarily tie in with the main story unless except very
As well as bringing back a lot of extended universe stuff. Which is
I
great.
think this solo one had the most planets out of all of them because you started off in Corellia, then you wound up on
Mimbar.
the Mimbar, and then you went over to the snow planet, and then whatever planet the
Saravine is, and then
Well,
Kessel,
Kessel,
and then
Saravine,
Saravine,
Kessel, then Saravine. So you had maybe 5 to 6
and then
planets
the
there.
end scene as well.
and then Jungle
Um,
Planet, which we'll
yeah.
get to.
Yeah, but that one doesn't really count because that was all
Yeah.
5 minutes.
But
Not
so after the Skype call with Darth Maul, we cut to Han. Well, no, we cut to Woody wandering across the desert or the
Beck
beach
and Chewie wandering
with,
across the desert like
with
the
the
Israelites.
canisters. Yeah, and so then
Did he actually have like a set idea of, hey, I'm gonna go here?
I don't know.
They just kind of walked
They
off.
just So Han's just standing there over a ridge, like hello, and Woody Harrelson's like, well, shit, you don't give up, do you? And Han's like, nah, not really. And so Woody Harrelson starts to make this big speech, and then Han just shoots him in the chest, and it's
Well,
like,
well,
oh,
give him some credit. Beckett starts to say, "Now I hope you were paying attention because I'm about to give you another less." And as he's
Yeah.
talking, he moves his
he's
finger.
unhooking, his
He
blaster,
moves his finger inside the blaster's trigger guard.
and then
At
Han
which
just
point
shoots
Han
him.
shoots him, and then
Yeah.
he says, "Good job. I was going to kill you."
Yeah, and then he has like this really like, I wouldn't say emotional death, but he does like this little like noise as he falls over. I would giggle at that.
He does a Woody Harrelson death.
Yeah, of course. So Han and
It makes
Chewie-
me happy that the last antagonist of the film is killed by a Han Solo quick draw.
It's literally Han shoots first.
Well,
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Han had already drawn. He had the blaster
Yeah.
trained on him from the beginning. But
Yeah.
the stance. Whenever you think of the Han shooting someone, there's that whole half
the
step out to
stance.
the right.
It's the
It's the
stance.
wide
Yeah.
stance.
Yeah.
And
He
they
has
got that down.
stance whenever he's shooting. It's perfect.
So Han and Chewie bring the coaxium back to Emphas, who's back in her armor after the whole
After the whole
Guys,
villager beatdown.
So, she goes, she's just like, all right, cool, thanks. You should join us. We're gonna go start a rebellion to fight the Crimson Dawn and the Empire. You
We
should come
need
with us. We
warriors and leaders like you.
And he's like, nah, I don't think so. And
To quote
she-
Han, I'm no good guy.
Yeah,
Are
and
you
then
sure?
she goes-
We're gonna start something big here. It could even become a rebellion.
Yeah, haha, funny. But, and then he's like, nah, I don't think so. And she goes, maybe you'll think differently someday. And he just goes, don't hold your breath. Look, guess who's wrong in this scenario?
Bum bum ba
As always,
Directed by George Lucas.
it's Han.
Not really. But so, she's like, all right, cool. She takes out a vial of coaxium and hands it to him, and it's just like, here, use, take this. You'll need a ship or something. And he's like, cool, thanks. They part ways. Cut to Jungle Planet, where Lando's playing another card game.
Let me see if we know the name of Jungle Planet.
It probably doesn't have a name.
So, you're talking about the conjoining of celestial bodies? I know a thing or two about that.
So, he,
Typical Lando.
yeah. So, he looks up, Han and Chewie walk out of the jungle and into the bar, this little, like, cabin where they're playing cards. And he's just like, Han! Like, he has this moment of, oh, fuck. And then he just is like, hey, buddy, how's it going? And then, like, Han's just like, hey, you almost got us killed because you fucked off and didn't help. So I'm gonna have Chewie rip your arms off. And Chewie moves to rip his arms off. And he's like, whoa, hey, we're friends, we're buddies, right? And then Han looks down and sees the card, the trump card that is in his
the
sleeve.
card device, yes.
He sees the card device hooked onto Lando's arm.
So he gives him a quick, like, hug. And while he's doing that, he does some motions with his hands.
The modern day traditional, let me shake your hand while giving you a hug.
Yeah.
So I've got one of your hands, you've got one of my hands, and we're giving each other a hug like we're buddy-buddy.
Yeah. Cut to them playing, and he's like, hey, I have some coaxium. That should be a good buy-in. They start playing cards. And then they build it up again so that the bets escalate to the point where it's
That's enough to buy your own nice little ship there, Han.
Nice
you can walk
ship.
away again, or I can clean you out again.
And then Han's like, nah,
I'm feeling lucky.
I'm feeling lucky. And Lando's like, all right, I'm putting my ship in. I'm gonna see your bet and raise it to my ship. And Han's like, okay. Han shows Chewie his cards. There's this cool scene where they're like, huh. And Han throws his hand down like, yeah. And Lando starts fucking with his card device and he can't find the cards. So he's like, oh,
and
shit.
you just hear.
Yeah. And then Han's like, what? Is there a problem? And then Lando puts down his
everything you need, pal.
Yeah. Lando puts down his hand, and Han's like, well, looks like I won. You would have won, though, if you only had this little thing. Pulls out the card from his pocket and holds it up. Cut to Han and Chewie flying away with the Falcon.
Roll credits.
And they mention that they're heading to Tatooine to participate in the Jabba job, which is probably what the
sets
job
him in
that
debt.
gets. Yeah, that sets him in debt and causes Greedo to approach him in the cantina.
Did we mention the point where the Falcon got its the shape as we know it when they ejected the escape pod?
Yeah. We talked about that briefly.
If you've seen the trailers,
okay, I had to step away for that point.
If you've seen the trailers, you've seen the Falcon doesn't have the notch in the center. That's where the escape pod is, and Lando says that he put that in specially. And when it's ejected,
it's a pretty big escape pod.
Han never probably was also for car too. So if they had like
because it is a Corellian freighter by default, and that's where the cargo usually is.
But so
Han replaced it with a concussion missile bay.
That's true.
But he also put in escape pods in the back, smaller ones. But that's why it looks weird in the trailer. It does not. That they explain why it looks like that. Don't worry. I know that I heard some people complaining about it in the trailer, but they do explain it, so it's all good. And then directed by Ron Howard, which that was fucking weird to see in a Star Wars movie, but okay.
Hey, he made it work.
And then based on characters created by George Lucas. It's like, oh, okay.
But
overall, it was pretty solid. Nice to see.
The movie was really good, in my opinion.
Nice to see more and more of the extended universe getting rolled back in.
I enjoyed it. I personally really liked it.
I did too.
They've done a really good job in the anthology, getting actors for characters, either original characters from the original stuff or original characters to the anthology films. They've done a really good job with casting. Woody Harrelson was great in this movie. Donald Glover was amazing as Lando.
Speaking of, and this was announced at 1:30 this afternoon, Kathleen Kennedy, quote, Disney is very open to doing a Lando film with Donald Glover following a positive response.
Yes! I want a fucking Lando movie.
I'd be down. I'd be down.
I wanted
The
to see him
story
do
of
cool
how he
shit.
gets the Millennium Falcon
And I want also,
and winds up being so broke that he has to pull the job with them.
Hell, I'd even like to see just how
Even
he
what happens after.
how he finds his
how
way
he
to
becomes-
Bespin.
City.
How he becomes. There's actually a throwaway line too where he says, "Never liked mining worlds," and it's like,
I hate mining colonies. Yeah.
yeah,
you
I'd
live on one later.
I'd like to see how they ended up on Cloud City, and also like how what happens with Maul, because like
Yeah.
that's like more expanded. That's like, I mean, not really expanded universe, but that's
Well,
like
no, because
more general Star Warsy, like
Even-
Jedi Sith, good guy bad guy fight. Like
even in the like people have
If
already
we do get a Kenobi movie, we're gonna have sick lightsaber battles.
so people have already
like,
pointed
Obi-Wan,
out
Yeah,
Considering how
Where-
the anthology films have handled lightsabers with like the Darth scene,
yeah. It's
Yeah.
really only been Vader and Maul who have had lightsaber.
which is nice.
Force
It's nice not seeing lightsabers and fucking everywhere in a movie. For
so
a change.
here's why I'm excited that Maul is in this,
Or
right?
Lightsaber. Inconvenient character thing that needs a loophole. Lightsaber.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. It's just, oh, we need this character out of a scene. He's dead. What?
I'm excited for the Maul thing because of two main factors.
Darth Maul's fucking awesome.
One, at the end of Clone Wars, we see he's setting up a crime syndicate. At the beginning of Rebels, he's a hermit who has nothing.
Yeah.
What happened?
This right here with
So, at
Kira
some
is the
point within
only
the
in
next
between.
Couple movies, he's gonna get fucked up.
No,
and
no,
have
no,
to
no,
retreat.
no. There's only one thing we know about it.
Hmm?
Whatever the event was that cost him his syndicate left him so terrified of Darth Vader that he would rather leave a galaxy than attempt to even get near Vader's radar.
What I'm getting
Here's my
is
idea.
in the next couple movies, we're gonna have an amazing scene where Darth Vader and Darth Maul have a fucking showdown.
If we see them go head to head,
Dude,
that would be.
I'm waiting for the moment where they actually acknowledge Naboo, and Anakin's like, wait, I haven't seen you since fucking Naboo. What are you doing here?
Actually, yeah.
Obi-Wan said you died.
I don't. Because Obi-Wan and Maul fought.
But
about-
Anakin was in the ship.
Yeah, no,
which
what
was
I'm saying
nearby,
is-
so he totally saw Maul.
Obi-Wan and Anakin. Or sorry, Obi-Wan and Maul fought about 6 times over the course of Clone
Anakin
Wars.
hasn't seen him in canon since Episode 1.
Actually, yeah. Like, Obi-Wan fought him pretty frequently, but
Yeah.
the only time Anakin's ever seen him was
In Episode
Was-
1 during
was-
the Battle of Naboo.
not even then. Because Anakin was already fucked off in the ship by that point. The only...
He was in the cockpit, and when
he
they
was
were
in the
fighting,
cockpit
then
and watched the fight,
Yeah,
and that's
he
when he
saw
took
them
off
fight.
and destroyed the.
so it was only
destroyed
that,
droids.
and it was only that in the
that
desert.
and the scene on Tatooine, yeah.
That's all they have, and
So Anakin's gonna have this great scene where he's like, "Hey,
you...
the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing here?"
'Cause-
But like as Darth Vader.
Because all we know of Maul is that he's lost everything, and Vader is the scariest thing there is to him. And if
So-
they handle him like they did in Rogue One, I could absolutely see why.
So here's my thought
It
on
would be
what
great.
could possibly go down.
Just like instead of making a speech, he just chops a bunch of fuckers, and it's like, oh,
That would be very Vader, but here's my potential idea on what might have gone down.
Mm.
As to in between the 2 points. In the expanded universe, we have the Black Sun, which is Crimson Dawn's equivalent.
yes.
What if Maul is in charge of Crimson Dawn, and
And
there's
the Black Sun
there's
also
a
exists.
Feline. There's a Feline called Prince Zizor, who's in charge of
Yeah.
Black Sun in the expanded universe.
Oh, I remember him. He was in Shadow of the Empire.
Yes.
Good game.
But what if Vader always kind of had a somewhat working relationship with Prince Zizor?
And then he tries to fuck over
Prince
Black
Zizor is
Sun.
Prince Zizor is part of Crimson Dawn, Vader gets him to the top, kicks Maul out, and it becomes Black Sun. Prince
No.
Caesar takes over all the contacts and changes the organization
That
to
would make a
working
lot
more
of sense.
closely with the Empire.
Yeah. I could see that.
However it ends up happening, I'd love
Of
to
course,
see.
that's all.
I want to
expanded
see
universe
Vader versus
bullshit
Maul.
now.
That's all I want to see.
I want to see that go head to head, and we know canonically it's
It would
happened at least once.
It would be really cool because Anakin sort of had a relationship with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. So it'd be really cool to see Anakin fight Darth Maul and be like, regardless of whether or not he's a Jedi or a Sith or whatever, just seeing Anakin beat the shit out of Maul for what he did to Qui-Gon would be
Right.
amazing.
Because at this point, Maul's a gray Jedi. He's not a Sith. Hence why I'm not saying Darth Maul. He's just Maul at this point. They make a point of that in both Clone Wars and Rebels.
Also, in the credits, he's just Maul.
Yeah. Because he doesn't have the title of Darth, because he does not agree with the Sith philosophy anymore.
He's not a Sith philosophy, yeah.
He
Yeah.
still has his red lightsaber, though. But
Yeah, because Dark Jedis still use those.
Oh yeah, it's kind of hard to change your lightsaber.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But-
no,
So I'm very excited for that, honestly.
so good. So good. Oh, this movie was a lot of fun. I won't say it's a perfect movie.
It left a lot of threads dangling, but again,
It is a
But again,
multi-movie
with all the
universe,
anthologies
so
that we're going to be getting,
They
they
have
can
stuff to
they
tie
can
in.
take those threads and continue to weave. They're
Right.
not really dangling; they're more left waiting.
right. Although I am wondering,
which is a safe bet considering we know a ton more. Disney didn't have contracts for more movies. It would be a
Well-
little bit more concerning.
well,
They
here's
do, so
well, I don't know, because Felicity Jones had a 5 movie deal, and she got blasted immediately. So
I mean, there was no way of getting her out of that situation. I don't know why they contracted her for that many movies. 'Cause
I
there's no
don't
way to
know.
get her character.
yeah, I'm aware. Just
What character was she?
she was Jin in Rogue One.
Ah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. There's
I
no way
don't-
to resolve
No. I don't
Yeah.
know why they would have contracted her to that many movies if they
Unless
were
they were
gonna just-
planning on doing a prequel or something.
Even so, though, but
Jin Erso anthology.
either way, the other day they announced there's a Boba Fett movie, which is happening, written and
Yes.
being done by James Mangold, who you may remember as the writer and director of Logan last year.
I approve of this
Which
decision.
is gonna
I
be fucking
very
awesome.
much approve of this decision.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Sounds pretty good to me.
And
I'm
then
so happy.
you've got the entire cast of Phantom Menace, minus Natalie Portman and Jake Lloyd, saying, "Hi, please give us an Obi-Wan movie, Disney." So, I think we're gonna get Kenobi at some point, probably around 2022 or
Is it
4.
gonna take place
one
during the
question
Clone Wars
is-
or in
Yeah,
between?
the question
It
is,
would be
does
in
it
the-
take place during the Clone Wars?
It would be in the gap between, because
3 and 4.
between 3 and 4, because
That's where
If-
most of the anthology films are going. I really hope they do a Clone Wars anthology movie where we just see a bunch of stormtrooper brigade just shooting the shit out of a bunch of droids.
Can we
Well-
get Delta Force?
Well,
Delta
the-
Force?
the guy who
Republic Commando.
Yep.
I
guy
want
who,
a Republic Commando movie. That'd be cool.
the guy who played Django
Yeah.
has said, "Hi,
Is
can I
he
have a
gonna play Boba?
No. Well, that's not been announced yet because they just greenlit the movie last week.
I mean, it would make no sense if he didn't.
Well, he is a lot older now.
But that's fine because so
Yeah.
is Boba.
Well, no, because we don't know when this would be.
It may be the Boba growing up story with Aura Singh.
Maybe.
But
Actually, it'd be funny to see her in a movie after she was just she fucking died. Woody
And
Harrelson
then-
shows
and
up at
then
the end of
gets
the
her-
movie, just like pushes her cliff. It's like, what?
Exactly.
I could totally see that. Just like, who the fuck are you? My name's Beckett. Shove.
but the guy who played Django and all the clones obviously showed up and said, "Hi, can I have a Captain Rex movie? Yes,
I'd be
please."
okay with that. I'd be totally okay with that.
I mean, I'm a little iffy on that, honestly.
Rex was a badass, but he was mostly covered in Rebels and Clone Wars, so
yeah, but it would be cool to see him just like, hey, I'm gonna go just on a mission on my own for a while. Like, I'm sent on like a special mission by the Republic to just like fucking go to this place, and then he just fucks up a bunch of people. It would be so cool. I really like him as a character.
Rex is great, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He is great. I'm just not so sure there's enough of him to hold down a standalone movie.
I agree. If they,
I mean, I feel like it would have to be some sort of cast, like most of the Star Wars, the more recent Star Wars stuff is actually Star Wars as a whole has been an ensemble movie. It's like
the prequels were the closest to not being one, I think.
yeah, no, the prequels were mostly following just Anakin and Obi, but like with the two anthology films, it's always been like there's a gang of dudes and they're hanging out and now things are happening. But like think about this movie, we had Han, we had Beckett, we had Vision, we had fucking Donald Glover. We had like a bunch of characters played by pretty big actors.
Kira.
Yeah, no, we had like a ton of people.
And they've now, you know, to those who don't watch the cartoons, they're now aware that Maul's alive again, so that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if we have anybody in this stream,
Captain...
if we have anyone in this stream who has not watched the cartoons, watch the cartoons. They are actually good.
Like I said, Clone Wars is on Netflix.
I'm a 22-year-old man, and I enjoyed these kids' cartoons. So
because they're well done.
I'll do you one better. My good pal, name of JC. Yes, Sam and Chucky, that JC.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
He has a kid, and he enjoys Clone Wars more than his kid does.
Yeah, of course.
As a hardcore Star Wars fan.
It's a great piece of Star Wars media. The Clone Wars movie, not
yeah.
You can still sort of watch it. It's still kind of cool to watch, but the show is so much better than the movie. If that's what's keeping you from watching the show,
watch the show and then watch Rebels.
I remember
after.
watching like some of the some of the Clone Wars movie or show when I was younger, but I haven't seen it since.
All three seasons are on Netflix. I highly recommend.
I'm considering going back and watching it
because it does mostly fix episode 3 pretty much. Is the whole purpose of the show.
Because it was such a dramatic transition between episode 2, like, I'm conflicted to I hate everything.
Yeah, you see that.
The show they do a good job of.
They build that a lot more.
If there's a good transition between episodes 2 and 3, then there.
It also explains the costume change between episodes 2 and 3 too, like why they have different robes and shit.
Yep, it explains that. It explains why Anakin is so quick to
turn to the dark side.
Yeah. Also, what is the time span between episodes 2 and 3? Just out of curiosity.
6 months.
6 months. Okay.
The Clone Wars was a lot of shit happening during a very short amount of time.
Yeah, the entirety of the cartoon covers that very well. And also it reminds us, or I guess it grants us the gift that Darth Bane is canon.
Yeah.
Also, he's still around.
That's rule of 2.
Yeah. And so, Clone Wars is definitely worth a watch. Rebels is great, especially because Rebels has now directly had their characters in...
Yeah, in Rogue One, you see the ship during the...
You see their ship, they mention...
Yeah.
And then Chopper's there.
Yeah.
And then Zeb from Rebels, one of the, the Beast Boy.
Mm-hmm.
He's got an audio cameo by good old Steve Blum in Solo at the Cantina as well. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this movie is great. If you haven't seen it yet, even regardless of what we've said, it is enjoyable to watch. Regardless of what we said, how much we've actually spoiled for you, it's still a really fun movie, even going in knowing what we've said.
Keep in mind, Chucky's seen it twice. So.
Yeah, so I knew what was coming the second time, and it was still enjoyable watching it the second time. Speaking of which, that was a day later, by the way.
Yeah.
So I saw it.
Yeah,
and then
he
the
went and
next day I
saw them a
it
day
again.
apart.
So I've seen it twice, and so I'm sort of in the same boat as anyone who's watching this and thinking if they want to go see it, considering how much has just been spoiled.
Chucky's legitimately seen this movie twice within the last 48 hours of this podcast.
So go buy yourself a ticket to Solo. Won't regret it. That's my review.
And if you want more anthology films, you might have to, because it's been out a whole weekend and it's not even made half its budget back yet. So
that's why. Why are people saying
I mean,
this?
I'm not gonna worry and say that there's not.
No, Disney has enough money to pump into projects. If one movie fails, they're not gonna.
Disney. Disney probably has enough money to buy the state of like Connecticut. So.
Oh yes, they do. But it's I believe 80 million behind the previous worst box office in Star Wars history.
Which one was that?
Last Jedi. And I was talking to Eli a bit about this last night, but I wholeheartedly believe this is just backlash from Last Jedi.
It's also the negative press to kind of hurt it, which, again, don't not see it because of all of the shit that happened behind the scenes.
Not hell. If you look on
Really
Reddit,
good movie.
if you look on,
it is impressive that they managed to
it's
make
fun.
a watchable movie out of
Even
the drama and bullshit that happened behind the scenes.
Even if you have problems with it, it's still a ton of fun. The actors put their heart and soul into this movie.
if you
Everyone
watched
did
the
an
original
amazing job.
trilogy growing up and said Han Solo is cool, Lando is cool, Chewbacca's fun,
If you
you
don't
will
like Han
enjoy
Solo
them.
as a character,
You shouldn't see it.
Well, I argue that there's enough of Chewbacca, there's enough of Woody Harrelson, there's enough of Kira, there's enough of Lando, there's enough of other characters for you to sort of be like, I can tolerate Han,
Right.
but I'm here for Lando, I'm here for Beckett, I'm here for Vision. Like, all of these people, there's enough there for people who don't necessarily like Han.
I do believe that the majority, seemingly, of the Star Wars fan base disliking Last Jedi is what synced Solo preemptively.
I legitimately don't get it. I think there were goofy parts in Last Jedi, don't get me wrong. But I'm gonna say this. There's goofy shit in every single Star Wars movie.
So
Episode 5, Episode 3, Episode 4.
This is my
every Star Wars movie
6,
has
the
goofy
entire
shit.
last half. Episode 6, the entire last half with the Ewoks was goofy.
There's
you have
goofy
cracked
stuff.
stormtroopers being beaten by fuzzy teddy bears.
Yeah.
The thing is
Can I play
episode.
Yeah, what's
can I
up,
play
Sam?
devil's advocate
Yeah.
for just a second?
Sure.
I mean, I'm not gonna say Last Jedi was my least favorite Star Wars movie. I don't know what that is. Probably
That's still held by Episode 2 for me.
Probably 1 or 2. But I would say that Last Jedi is my least favorite Disney Star Wars movie.
Okay, that's fair.
That is fair.
Compared to Force Awakens, Rogue One, and this, I definitely preferred those three.
Right now, I rate it
over Last Jedi.
Right now, I rate it Rogue One, Solo, Last Jedi, Force Awakens. I can't stand Force Awakens. I absolutely hate it.
I agree. Or I don't hate it. I like it, but my issue with it is it's too similar to A New Hope.
It is definitely a
It
rehash of
is,
Episode
it
4.
is very much a rehash of
I would-
Episode 4.
I would actually say that the two that are supposed to be the main series Star Wars movies are the ones I've disliked the most since Disney acquired Star Wars.
I agree.
The thing is that I
Last Jedi is my least favorite, followed by what's it called?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, and then the two anthologies have come somewhat interchangeable. I've had my issues with both. I've had my issues with all the new Star Wars movies. I've enjoyed them all in theaters, but I don't like them as much as the original series.
The thing
That's
is
fair.
that I can see people's arguments for why they don't like Episode 7. I can see slightly see people's arguments, not as much as I can see with Episode 7. I can see sort of people's problems with Episode 8. I can't bring myself to hate a Star Wars movie. the thing is I love this series so much. I don't want to see it go to shit, but in my opinion, it has not gone to shit. They even episodes 1 and 2, have enough there that feels like Star Wars. There's sure some of the effects have aged poorly.
Been incredibly cheesy.
Yeah.
But
The Geonosis scene,
Words.
holy fucking shit, that thing just resurrects episode 2. Just a shit ton of like ATTEs and shit walking around, gunships, clone troopers, droids, Jedi. It's like so good. The fight against Count Dooku in episode 2, great. The fight against Maul in episode 1. The pretty much all of episode 3 I really enjoy. But I cannot bring myself to hate a Star Wars movie because I love this series so much, and I do not believe at any point has this series done anything that has
I don't hate any.
Full on hate.
Yeah, I dislike 1 and 2, and I kind of like the Star Wars Holiday Special because it's fun to watch.
I like it because it's goofy.
It's goofy. It's fun to watch with friends when you're really pretty plastered.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's certainly not good.
Well, no, because it's like fucking 10 minutes of Wookiees growling, and then cut to Art Carney doing some random bullshit involving putting together a communicator. Cut to stormtroopers showing up at the house, and then Han and Chewie flip one of them off the fucking balcony. But no, the holiday special is enjoyable. Just for the memes, honestly, that's literally the only reason to watch it, and you should watch it because of that reason. Even if you just put it on in the background, you'll like turn around and be like, "Is that Wookiee fucking cooking a fucking pie? What's going on out there?" But the even the holiday special has not ruined. I don't think anything has ruined Star Wars.
Not yet, anyways.
Disney has been pretty good about acknowledging weaknesses in each one that comes. They've made changes. They've done.
You could make the case they went too far with The Last Jedi. Because like the main problem is was 7.
I have a lot of problems with Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, that's the one I have the most.
They're not series breaking problems yet.
The main
I
thing...
see a bunch of major plot holes and like discrepancies in.
I haven't caught any
8,
plot holes in like, 8 yet.
And like some real curveballs that came out of fucking nowhere. But,
see, that's the problem. Like, Rian Johnson's whole thing is subverting expectations, and I think there are times where he pushed that to the point of just things almost feeling out of character in some moments.
A little bit. I think that in episode 8, there's a few moments where Rey doesn't feel like Rey.
I'm fine with that. I hate Rey.
Weird character shifts. I don't. That's the weird thing. I
don't hate her either. But I find some of her character shifts and decisions in.
I do think she's a rather bland character, but if they do more with her, I think that.
I just hate that she's stronger than Yoda has been on screen so far.
Yeah. No. Well,
that's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, what happened? Like, what's the example of what makes her stronger than Yoda?
Having literally no force training and being able to lift up like an entire rock slide.
Whereas Yoda couldn't lift a single pillar in Attack of the Clones, and struggled in the X-Wing. So Yoda's basically light side force god as far as movies go.
There is a very big theory out there that the reason the Jedi are seen as so weak as compared to Sith Lords comparatively, at least in terms of force power, is that there is a amount of light side and dark side energy in the universe.
And because there's so few Jedi, it's all her.
As the Jedi spread out and create more of them, the light side energy had to spread equally between them all, and those who were more conducive of it could get more of it.
Whereas in this scenario,
Rey, she has all of it.
It's literally just Rey, Luke, Yoda. And then on the dark side, it was literally Kylo, and all we know so far, Kylo and Snoke. Then Snoke dies, So it's literally all Kylo and all Rey.
Even so, though, because like,
But that's just fan theories.
Yeah,
But
and also
I
my
actually
counterpoint.
believe that because they've said that the sides of the Force need to be in balance.
But then my point to that would be
Rey having these ridiculous powers is to counter Kylo.
But then my point would be, like, think about Empire. Luke and Yoda are the only living Jedi at that point. He can barely lift an X-Wing. So
As I said, it also depends on how conducive you are to it.
Yeah.
Don't you guys think we should probably wrap this up pretty soon? We've been going for almost 3 hours.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's-
last one was almost 4, right?
Yeah,
we hit
we
405 for the Avenger. No, it was
long.
So,
like 405. It's pretty standard for Spoilercast. So.
in terms of Star Wars, if we want to end with just like a short, I guess like upcoming movies sort of thing, like just a very short one. In terms of Star Wars movies, this is not a bad Star Wars movie.
No.
No, yeah, it's not. I mean, it may not get critically well reviewed. In fact, I'm expecting it not to be. In fact, I know it hasn't been.
It's
Which
getting...
is
And
disappointing.
monetarily,
I
it
think
will
it's
not do
disappointing.
well simply
It's-
because block off, or
Also,
box office
Disney-
The
over-
negative press it
The
received.
prob here,
in
it's
production.
I don't even think it's negative press. I legitimately think Disney releasing Deadpool and fucking
Avengers.
There's just too
around the
many
same
all
time
at
as
once.
Solo. Why would you do that?
Disney doesn't own Deadpool though. Deadpool is owned by Fox.
But they bought Fox.
They bought Fox. They bought 20th Century Fox.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Disney...
Yeah.
So...
Disney is big.
The only release date they should have moved would have been Solo, and that should have been moved to the normal December Star Wars.
I
slot.
agree that should have been December.
Which they're still doing a normal December one, aren't they?
wait.
No,
Next
it's
year.
next December is Star
Next
Wars.
December. Okay.
So we've
We
gone...
are a year and a half without a Star Wars movie going.
And that's the
This
longest time we've
definitely
been in that
deserved
position.
A December release. This definitely deserved a
So-
December release.
I need my movie.
They shouldn't have released it alongside.
The reason they wanted it...
2 other blockbuster superhero movies.
I understand why they wanted it out for the 25th, though. Because that's
Plus,
the...
we also have, for
'Cause-
at least our generation, The Incredibles 2 coming out in like a week
that
and a
too.
half.
That too. So like Disney,
I
4
completely
movies all at once.
And
Is
then
that-
Ant-Man and the
that's
Wasp.
fine.
I
3
completely
weeks after
forgot
that.
about about the what's it called?
The Incredibles.
Incredibles.
The Incredibles. Yeah.
So think of it like this, right? In the last month since Avengers came out, just looking at Deadpool and just looking at Avengers alone, Disney's made over $3 billion.
Yeah.
And then Solo, which isn't doing well.
The
People are just tuckered out from Disney stuff.
I
There's
think
so
I
much
legitimately
right now.
think people don't A, money, B, time, and C, energy to just go to the movies 3 times in a month.
I would.
There are people that would. I mean, I went twice in 2 days,
Yeah.
but there are people that aren't like me that can't just fuck it, let's go see a movie. Drive to the theater. It's like there are people that can't do that. There are people that like to plan things out. There are people that have work. There are people that have kids.
And,
there are people
and
that
Chucky and I just have the
Yeah.
convenience of there are 3 movie theaters within 5 miles of us.
yeah, exactly.
And it's
So
not even that, though. If you go to Star Wars Reddit, like, a lot of them are like, hey, Solo's cool. But the
Yeah,
vast
no.
majority is like, I'm glad it failed. Why? Last Jedi was a disaster. They're praising themselves. They're saying, like, hey, because we want to hurt the franchise as a whole because Last Jedi wasn't what we wanted. So, boycott. It worked. Great. Fuck you, Disney.
but the thing is
People
like,
are actively trying to kill Star Wars now because they
But
didn't
the
like
thing
Last
is-
Jedi. And it's
well.
working. It's working.
But here's the thing. Fuck off. Like, legitimately, if you
They
don't
are
like a
fucking
movie,
off. That's what
great.
they're doing.
No, great. Don't try and convince other people to boycott. Just, if you didn't like a movie, don't go fucking see a Star Wars movie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it. Hello, I'm Mr. Disney. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy our film. But Star Wars is not going away anytime soon. It's not. It's owned by Disney. It's not gonna fucking go away.
So here's what we know right now, right? Even after the Solo flop,
It's not technically a flop. It didn't make enough money, but
it's made half the budget.
film.
Quality, I don't think it's a flop, but financially, it's made half the budget, not even. So that's a box office flop. It made 10 million
typically
overseas.
The anthology films, even Rogue One, had lower opening box office too. I think it definitely had lower opening box office to Awaken.
Yeah, but it
Comparatively
did beat Last Jedi though.
Which I don't get it. To me, the only thing in Last Jedi that was anything worse than any of the other Star Wars movies was the magical floating Leia in space, because that was goofy as shit.
That was just poorly animated, but cool in concept.
But, like, that's the only thing I thought that was, like, that I was sitting in the theater and I was laughing when I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing I, like, okay, Rey lifting the rocks, that was a little much. They should have removed some of the rocks, made it look less extravagant, but
Make it so she pulls a rock free and then
yeah, like
some
starts
just
moving
slide
rocks
to the
period.
side.
Yeah, like do something like that. Don't make it look like I am God. I can use the follow me to freedom. Don't do that. Have it but that and the Leia space scene were the only things that were in Disney control that
I am not going to get
hurt
into
the film.
Yeah,
The,
I'm not gonna
the
get...
other one, was the hyperspace jump into the other ship. That should have been Leia.
Leia
And it
should
was
have been...
originally supposed to be Akbar. So,
That would have been the perfect way to
but Akbar's
get rid of Leia's character, because
see,
you know, she like her actor is like, you know, she died.
that I can see that as being a reason people didn't like the movie. But that's out of Disney's control. They didn't know she was gonna fucking die. So why kill off a character if you think you're gonna still be able
And
to use it for another movie?
I think she had already finished filming all of her scenes for the movie. They would have had to reshoot like 30% of the movie at that point.
Also, if they did kill her off, and also kill Luke off, sorry, spoilers for whatever.
We're talking about the next one in the franchise. It's fine.
So, killing both Luke and Leia off in one movie, and having Chewie be the only surviving member of the original cast in the movie.
R2 and 3PO.
Okay.
R2's can articulate words, Sam. He doesn't count.
They were barely in the movie. They were barely.
I would love it if R2 actually could articulate words. He was just such a dirty mouth character that every word was beeped out.
I mean, that's in keeping with his
I would
character.
like that.
But no, having Chewie being the only surviving member of the original crew from Episode 4, that would just feel even more wrong. Killing off 2 after the Han thing in Episode 7, and then immediately doing both Luke and Leia in one movie, that I feel like would feel way more disrespectful to the series. I think Disney had no choice. They didn't want to. They easily could have CG'd Leia doing the hyperdrive scene.
They should have
just been like, that's her going out with a bang, her being the one to say fuck off First Order. That would have been amazing.
They should have killed Leia in Episode 7, and if they needed to, Luke and what?
Oh,
no, they should have killed Leia in Episode 8. My bad.
Yeah. If they needed to, Luke
and if they need to, Luke in Episode 9.
Because Mark Hamill wants to do more shit. He loves Star Wars. So
yeah.
Why the fuck? Why not have Luke have a badass scene and then find out that, oh, by the way, Leia like hyperspace jumped into a fucking Star Destroyer and blew it the fuck up, and Luke being like, yeah, that sounds like my sister.
If the actor of one character wants to do more shit, and
the only reason
that character's co-star's actor died, then there is an obvious way to go as to which character should survive.
But again, I feel like
Disney can't handle that one.
CG.
Because don't forget, she died, like, what, a week before the movie was due to release as well?
Yeah, and
A week
recutting that.
before episode 7, or the what's it called?
Hang on, let me
Force
see.
Awakens was due to release.
No, she died between 7 and 8.
Carrie Fisher died 16. So she died right before Rogue One. Okay.
Okay,
So-
I may not have the timeline straight.
So Disney had no choice, and if that's the reason you're hating, like, I'm just talking to people in general. I'm not saying anyone in chat. I'm not saying anyone in this call. If that's the reason you hate episode 8, I get it. But think about it from a filmmaking perspective. They had no fucking choice.
yeah, I
Don't hate on the movie because of something out the
I don't
creator's control.
hate the movie. I see a bunch of issues that could have been fixed. And I don't see it as the best Star Wars movie. But I found it enjoyable watching it.
Yeah.
So where the fuck's Lando?
In episode 8, he's
Dude,
probably gonna be in
Episode 9, Lando's gonna like kick a door open with 2 blasters and just be like, anyone needed a rescue? It's like, yes! Thank you!
No, I bet in 9 he's gonna walk in like, hey, how are my friends doing? It's like,
He's gonna be
Lando.
like,
no way
"Hey,
he's not gonna be in
where's
episode
Han?"
9.
And fucking Chewie's just gonna be like, oh dude, you should probably sit down. We gotta talk about this. And Rey's
So
just like, who the fuck's this guy? Like, there's another one?
There's no way he's not gonna be in
Chucky.
episode 9. And
No, I mean, like, there's another old friend. Like, because it's like, oh, here's Leia. Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I know,
Here's
I
Luke.
know.
What? Here's Chewbacca. Okay. And then, okay, I think I've met everyone in your group of friends. And then fucking Lando shows up. It's like, really? How many people do you know in this galaxy?
yeah.
And that's real bad. It's like, where's Lando? Seriously, at least explain why he hasn't shown up
Yeah,
yet.
like, even an offhanded line, like, oh, Lando called and he to set something up. Because, like, he was in episode 6. He was a general for the fucking rebellion. Did he just fuck off when they made the Republic?
I mean, it's been a 30-year time jump between episode 6 and 7. And then, like, another year and a half or so between 7 and 8. So,
Well, no, those
like-
only take place like half an hour apart.
Yep.
what's the first scene of episode 8?
It's Rey handing Luke the saber that she was holding at the end of 7.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
So, and the opening scene is them escaping from
The rebel base.
the rebel base from the end of episode 7. But so
Yeah,
don't not see this movie because you didn't like episode 8.
Yeah, I don't like. I didn't
Solo
love
is
that.
a really good movie.
I
Go see-
didn't really like episode 8 all that much, and I really kind of enjoyed this movie. So it's an enjoyable movie. It's an enjoyable, fun movie. I'm not sure if it's gonna be critically acclaimed,
Mhm.
but it's an enjoyable, fun movie.
So, do we want to talk about upcoming movies or just
So what we know
yeah?
in
So can I
terms
just-
of, yeah,
like-
go ahead.
Like trailers that we saw, or what?
We can do upcoming Star Wars stuff, and then we'll go
I'm
getting-
do a short bit on trailers. Then
I'm getting pretty tired, so I'm not.
All right, we'll wrap up quick then.
Yeah.
So what we know for Star Wars, there's the Boba Fett movie, written and directed by James Mangold.
Yep.
That's coming out in probably 2 or 3 years. We obviously have episode 9 next December.
Sorry, I had to step out for a minute. Are we talking about upcoming movies?
we're
Yep,
talking
upcoming-
about upcoming Star Wars stuff, and then we're gonna
Alright.
do a short bit on some of the trailers, and then
Yep.
end it.
So we have those 2 films.
Yep.
Following those, we have
hmm
maybe a Kenobi one because everyone really wants that. But other confirmed stuff. After 9, Rian Johnson's getting a trilogy that takes place about 1,000 years away from the main series, so we don't know where that's going to be.
Wait, after or before?
We don't know. Just
I hope
1,000.
it's the Old Republic.
just 1,000 years.
I
would
hope
love
it's the Old Republic with a
Good
bunch of
God, I
Sith
would
Lords
love it.
killing the fuck out of everyone. Yes.
And we also know that Jon Favreau is getting a live-action TV show.
I'm excited.
However, that will only be available on Disney's exclusive streaming app, so fuck yourself. Paid subscription.
This has been really confusing.
Jon Favreau's getting a show, Rian Johnson's getting another trilogy.
Yeah, no,
That's it.
It's something else. I've been listening to a podcast with a Jon Favreau in it, and it's a different Jon Favreau. So
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
it messes me up sometimes.
So, those are happening.
Yep, so we got another show, then we got another trilogy, and then Boba Fett, and then 9. So there's at least...
There's a bunch more Star Wars coming.
There's at least 5 more movies. 6 if they announce Kenobi, which they'd be foolish not to.
Mm-hmm.
And then... and then the show.
Cool.
So there's more coming.
There's a lot more coming. Yeah.
Wait, is whatever show is coming? Is it going to be animated or live?
Live action.
Live action.
Okay, I'm interested in that. Like,
You have to buy Disney's streaming service
Oh,
subscription.
Put it on ABC. You
No, fuck.
have a channel, Disney. You have 2 channels.
They have 3 channels.
3. You have 3 TV channels, and you can't be bothered to put it on TV where it deserves.
I'm just going to pirate it. I don't care.
Same, probably. Disney, don't kill me. So, in terms of Star Wars, that's a lot of stuff coming.
A lot of content.
Let's see. Upcoming movies.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Looks pretty good from the trailer.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
excited.
interested in that.
I want to know how Ant-Man ends up.
There's the skyscraper,
Oh.
which is a rock.
Dwayne
versus
Johnson
building.
versus an exploding building. Yes.
To quote our pal Dan, rock versus structure, my favorite film.
To quote my brother, Die Hard, starring
pretty-
The Rock.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's Die Hard in a larger building. Still with Asian people running it.
with the
It's a
rock.
Die Hard remake.
God damn it.
Jurassic World
Yep, that's coming soon-ish.
looks
Yeah.
good. I'm excited. Always down for dinosaurs and Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I love a good crispy wrap.
Always down for dinosaurs trying to eat people.
And let me guess. Jurassic World, that is also owned by Disney, correct?
No,
I don't believe so,
that's-
actually. That's
That
Sony?
is Universal.
Oh.
All right. All
We have
right.
Venom in
The movie
October.
We're talking about that is not owned by Disney. That's cool.
We have Venom, that's Sony.
Disney
Disney gets nothing for that one except character
Fantastic
royalties.
Beasts is WB, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking
Halloween is Universal.
I'm interested in that just because I, grew up with Harry Potter. So,
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for Fantastic Beasts.
And, like-
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm very much planning on seeing Incredibles when that's out, Mike.
Oh, dude, The Incredibles looks great. The trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
RC Movie Day? Question mark?
My girlfriend has already told me I'm going to see it with her.
Ah,
Everyone except Eli, RC Movie Day?
possibly.
Maybe.
John,
Great. Yes.
I will find you,
Depends.
and I will go to the movies with you.
You were invited.
You had your... You just...
My,
Oh, wait. Was the only threat that you're going to come to the movie with me?
Yes.
Oh, alright. That's fine. Come on.
So
Let's go.
I'm not threatening you here. I'm offering a good time.
See, I'm just so used to RC threatening my well-being. That's
Fuck
kind
off,
of my...
John.
See? That's just kind of my
so-
go-to at this point.
and then what else did we get? I'm pretty sure we got something else.
There's the Hotel Artemis trailer.
I haven't seen the trailer, but
June 8th.
from what I've heard, looks interesting. I'm in.
Cool. It's pretty much John Wick Hospital Edition, also sci-fi. So, I want this.
Let's see. Wick Chapter 3.
That's not out for another year.
I know, but it's important.
If we're going that far ahead, we got Captain Marvel in March. And then we got the Avengers in May, directly competing with Wick 3. Sorry, Wick, you had a good run.
I'm seeing both.
these weren't in the trailers that we saw, but
No.
Yeah.
There's Halloween, which we still don't have a trailer for yet, surprisingly.
I mean, they wait until the 2-month range for Ant-Man, so.
Yeah, but like even still, like Universal usually puts out way in advance.
Nice meme, Lexi.
Oh, the Grunch. We didn't see a trailer for.
Oh,
they were the AMC Illumination things.
a remake of the Grinch.
Get ready for so many posters for the Grinch if you live near an AMC theater.
Yeah.
Holy shit. If you remember what happened when they did Secret Life of Pets, when they did Sing, when Minions came out, everything was that for like 3 months. So get ready, because the Grinch is coming out in November. It's coming soon when it comes to how much shit AMC puts up.
So the
Why is it coming in November? Why not December?
Because usually they do Christmas movies in
they want
November.
the DVD available for sale around Christmas.
Either that, or they want them to still be in theaters around Christmas, so it's not opening weekend when people are supposed to be, with their families. They know that they can do it beforehand.
I want to hear from you guys. Do you guys think this is going to be a good Grinch movie? Because
no.
As far as I know, I think there's only one.
I'm gonna say
the original Boris Karloff one.
It has potential from what I saw in the teaser trailer.
It seems to have comedic potential. But
who's voicing the Grinch again?
I think Benedict Cumberbatch.
Nope.
What the hell?
That's a nope. I love him, but that's a nope.
I think he's fine. I wish he used his normal voice, but...
I love Benson Cumberburner, but no.
Yeah, it is Benedict Cumberbatch. What the hell?
The movie at least has me curious. I'm probably not going to theaters unless I get a group to go with me, but... I
raise his hand.
Do you want to go?
Chucky, you know me. I'm down to see literally any movie. I go at least twice a month, with or without you
then
fucks.
We're gonna go see the Grunch.
Cool.
So there's that. There's Fantastic Beasts in November, Halloween in October.
Oh no.
Not a Star Wars movie in December.
I'm reading the premise and Wikipedia page for the new Grinch movie, and I want to go.
No spoilers.
Well, I mean, please. It's the story of the Grinch. How do you not know it? Are you
because
two?
If Sam has this much of a reaction to something that should just say the Grinch comes down from his mountain and tries to steal Christmas.
Let me read to you this.
No.
It's a 2-sentence premise.
All right, fine. What?
Okay, the Grinch, Benedict Cumberbatch, hatches a scheme with his trusted canine Max to ruin Christmas when the residents of Whoville plan their annual holiday celebration. Meanwhile...
Oh god, no, there's a B plot?
Yes. Cindy Lou plots to seek out Santa Claus to thank him for helping her single mother every Christmas. Something that will interfere with the Grinch's plans.
I have a thing though. She's in the plot of the original. So
not anymore.
How can she be going to the North Pole from Whoville and simultaneously mix in with the Grinch's plan?
No,
not anymore.
Something tells me that she's gonna be seeking out. Oh god, I went robot. Seeking out Santa.
And stumbles across the Grinch.
And stumbles across
Santa
the Grinch dressed as Santa, thinking
that the Grinch is Santa Claus.
And that's how they do.
And that's how for helping her mother, and therefore making him feel better about Christmas.
We should write for Netflix.
I can see that actually working, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be good. I think
as a kids film,
I think the only Grinch movie that's ever going to has been good is the original from like 1960s.
Yeah, go watch the original
with Boris Karloff.
All right, if you like the Jim Carrey one, fine.
Passable.
I'm not gonna take that away from you. It's an entertaining movie just because it's goofy as shit.
It's passable.
Go watch the original. The day the Grinch comes out in theaters, don't go see it. Don't go see it opening weekend or whatever. Go watch the actual Grinch. And if they do a Fathom event at AMC where they have the original in a theater, go see that.
Yeah, it's.
No, because then you're gonna give AMC your money. Don't do that.
Why? AMC's great.
Yeah, AMC is fun. They just bow to the whims of Illumination and their mafia ties.
What?
I don't know. I have a feeling Illumination's in debt to someone.
What do you mean the mafia?
Okay, John, how do they make this much money and continuously pump
Minions.
crap?
Minions.
But how do they keep...
Minions.
But the thing is, the movies are so low quality when you have someone like Pixar that can... They're in debt to the Minions, the Mafia and their Minions.
Hang on. Let me look up Minions budget versus returns.
I just looked up Illumination like on Wikipedia.
Please tell me at the bottom it just says Illumination is in debt to the Russian mob. Like, or something like that.
I mean,
Okay.
their highest grossing films are Minions, Despicable Me 3, and 2.
Okay, so here's how they made all their money, right?
Hitman contracts. Sorry, what?
Here's how they made their their money. Minions had a budget of 74 million.
Sure.
And on opening weekend, sorry, in the opening month alone, brought home $1.2 billion.
Okay. Parents.
Money
Stop
laundering.
feeding your children shit. That's it. That's all
Also-
you do. Send them to Star Wars. Send them to Avengers. Please don't send them to any Illumination movies. See,
Also,
it's
money
people,
laundering.
it's people like us who watch
Send
The
them
Grinch
to
because
actually
we hate
good
themselves.
movies.
We watch The Grinch and the Emoji Movie because we hate ourselves.
We watch it so you don't have to.
Don't
Oh wait, that's someone's thing, isn't it?
that's Doug
That
Walker's
is the
thing.
nostalgia critic.
That's Nostalgia Critics thing. I forgot. Right.
But we watch it.
I think we
Because
can be
we hate
expecting a
ourselves.
letter in the mail. Thank
Doug,
you.
don't shoot us. We watch it because we hate ourselves, and we like to talk about it on the internet. Don't send your children to it because they don't have the ability to talk about it online,
So.
All right.
and they also don't deserve to watch shit like that by
Also,
choice. They should be watching better stuff like Star Wars or Avengers.
yeah.
Hell, I don't care. I hate them so much. Send them to a DC movie.
Oh, that's just mean.
No, it's better than watching fucking Minions. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. So.
Send them to a Harry Potter movie when those come out. There's plenty of good shit in theaters at any given time.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of good like kids like TV out right now as well.
No, go on demand.
Or there
whenever
was
you have.
like a year and a half.
Throw on the original Jurassic Park. Throw on. There are plenty of great movies out there. You don't always have to go to the theaters.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, don't let your children be stupid and watch Minions. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I suppose.
And he makes a very valid point. You should not let your children go see Minions.
Oh, and go see Solo. That's my other final thought.
Yeah, Solo is a fun movie. If you're not looking for something too complicated, it's a great fun
It's a lot of
movie.
fun. Yeah. Eli, John, do you have anything to say?
See Solo.
Go see Solo.
See
Pretty
Solo.
simple. It's good.
Last thing.
Yes.
You guys in chat seem to be really enjoying our movie content. And I think we've been enjoying doing it. And we all go to the movies all fucking time anyway.
It's much more time, like, it works much better, like, time-wise for me than, like, video game stuff.
Yeah, so if you guys...
So, like, I can watch a movie...
Lexi, there's 6 people
and then talk
here.
about it rather than playing a bunch of video games.
I've been packing for my Europe trip this entire time.
I mean, we can do other stuff while doing these podcasts. So if you enjoy them,
Yeah.
we can do them a lot more often.
Yeah, you know, we sit down, we watch Netflix stuff. If you guys...
I mean, Sam and I at least are planning on watching the Mythica movies in
Yes,
in
that
2
is-
weeks.
That is something we're gonna have to do a spoiler cast for.
I want to do a spoiler cast
Yeah.
on that.
Those things are
John, again, you're invited.
those are movies.
Eli,
that,
you
like,
are too, but I know you're probably still going to be in Europe.
Those are movies that like.
I land The Night of the 13th.
Do you guys know anything about those movies?
Only that you've said they're fantasy.
I've
We can
watched
wait
them
for
with
you
my
if you wanna
roommate.
see them.
The first one is
Up to
basically
you guys.
the movies. The first movie, they're all basically Lord of the Rings, but the first one is Lord of the Rings on a budget of 95 grand.
It's Kevin Sorbo as bootleg Gandalf. That's all you need to know. For 5 movies.
The one review on Wikipedia is by Kevin Sorbo, and it says,
Is it actually him?
This is a movie similar to Lord of the Rings, and I play a character. And the only way he is similar to Gandalf is that he is
Solid.
He's not a wizard. He doesn't have a white beard. He's not.
I'm totally down to see this.
Doesn't know
fucking
magic.
thing. We'll do a Mythica spoiler cast. It's gonna be a long one because there's 5 movies of bullshit to get through to talk about.
Yeah.
So
last thing, if you guys want us to start doing more movie content, maybe a monthly or bi-monthly spoiler cast, or bi-weekly rather, every other week. So that's still only 2 a month. For new movies or stuff on Netflix or old movies, let us know.
I feel like we should do at least one new movie, and then we can fill the other ones
with Netflix or HDMI.
Like shit we find on YouTube, like a bunch of random stuff.
It would give us an excuse to go more movies together, which
Yeah, I have a pretty free and open.
Also,
summer.
if we do Netflix stuff, we can also have more people from other places. Well, actually, no, the same thing with movie theaters too, because we don't all have to see the movies together.
yeah,
like-
but that's fun too.
Yeah, sure.
But
But I mean, like, if we have like other people like Connor, Austin, Gibbon,
yeah,
Brandon, if he's around at any points and gets
Yeah.
around to seeing movies, so
it
we can have a
doesn't
lot more
have to be
people.
regularized. We'll
Yeah.
watch it regardless. It's just an idea we're kicking around because
it's just nice to have like something set on the schedule, you know. So
It
it's
helps
like,
us
oh, shit,
out.
Today's movie day.
it helps us out, and I think you guys seem to be enjoying it. I talked to Austin.
God, yeah.
I talked to Austin the other day, and he said like the spoiler cast are some of his favorite RC content. So
Yeah, so because like it's just us.
We've
shooting
always-
shit about a movie we saw for like 4 fucking hours.
And we've always
Put
wanted
your
to.
suggestions in the Spoilercast suggestions chat.
That exists now. Thanks.
Did
Eli.
you?
I'm good.
Tasteful.
This man's good at what he does. All
But
right.
yeah. Feel free to throw random Netflix stuff, new movies.
I think it's a fair assumption that the next one we do is either going to be Mythica or Incredibles.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Deadpool
Ho-
2.
Deadpool
If
2,
I
or
get
maybe
around to
Hotel
seeing
Artemis.
Incredible. It'll be something. It'll be something good, regardless.
All right, because
Yeah.
you and I said we're doing Hotel Artemis, and of course you guys,
Yes.
you guys are welcome to join. That's
And
June 8th is
definitely-
opening for that. So
I know this is way ahead of the game. I know we're gonna do one for Halloween.
we're doing one for Halloween. I
Young
Young
assume
Frankenstein?
we
Young
might do
Frankenstein?
one.
maybe.
We might do one for Fantastic Beasts. We'll probably end up doing one for the Star Wars Holiday Special in December.
I know we're gonna do one for Captain Marvel,
Captain Marvel will do.
and don't doubt for a second that there will be an Avengers 4 one.
There will be one for Avengers 4. Oh, don't.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be like 6 hours, honestly.
It's
that one.
probably gonna be like a ton of people though. If schedules work out fine, it's probably gonna be a bunch of people, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we'll catch you guys later. Until then, we will see you tomorrow when
Something's happening.
I actually have the schedule for this week right here. Haha.
Yes, that's
And
right.
I will see you all in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
when I get
Eli's
back
not
from
gonna be
Europe.
here.
Yes, Eli's going on break because he's a loser.
So tomorrow is
Have fun playing that.
Dead by
I will.
Daylight with me, Chucky,
Shrug, maybe if I'm around.
maybe Breton, maybe
If
Brandon.
I'm not able to play, I will probably.
I might just move Nugget Tumble from Thursday to tomorrow if I'm alone for Dead by Daylight tomorrow. We'll see. But
Okay.
if not, that's the plan. So we'll see you guys then. Until then, don't forget to spread the happy and stay rusty. We'll see you next
Love you
time.
guys.
Goodbye.
Peace out, bitches.